Hi, everybody. I didn't realize I was so close to the camera there. How's it going?
Yeah, you zoomed in there.
All right. It's been a little while. We did not stream last week, and we took a different approach for this week. Try had a death in the family, so he is taking the night off. So Audi has graciously accepted to join me for the stream and prepared a
Very
list.
last minute.
Yeah. But you put
Um,
together an 18 game list, a mystery list.
yes. I think was it Easter? Was it?
Yeah.
You weren't here. It was the
Right.
reverse situation where
Mm.
you had something come up, and so for that, I decided to try to a Easter egg hunt, I suppose, hunt for a good game. And so I sent him 18 games that I had renamed only by numbers, and that worked out really well, didn't it?
Yeah.
So people really enjoy that. And so you were like, well, let's do a Mega Drive this time. And I
Hmm.
was surprised. Why not Master System?
Well, I mean, I felt like I'd probably get a wider variety of games doing the Mega
I
Drive.
guess, well, you would have probably been surprised. I'll say that much. So I guess
Well,
next time
we'll do the Master System in the future. I do really want to
it,
quickly
it'll
talk
be our
about.
thing. It's my little niche on my life in gaming is figuring out different ways that I can make you guys play terrible games.
Well, I mean, if it's anything to go by, there's probably a lot of stuff here that is not terrible. I mean, I know that Try went out and bought that one Konami game that ended up getting a
Getsu
remake,
Fumaden.
right? Like
Yeah,
a week later
Getsu
or something.
Fumaden. I was surprised by that. He really got into that. I mean, it's a great game, but I had no idea he didn't know more about it. So I actually got John a copy of that. When I say John, of course, I mean John Lennon. But I got John a copy of that last week, actually.
Oh wow, has it
That
gone up in price?
popped up. Very much so. So, but we found a good copy, and that game. I think Try got the cartridge, but John got the box, and the box come with a lenticular cover. So when
Ah,
you twist and turn it, it has this little effect. So I'll keep an eye if you want a copy as well.
yeah. I mean, I'll take a closer look at it. I don't have a lot of Famicom games. I
I
have
have
very few.
320. I
That's
just updated my list today.
So it's probably a colorful
So
shelf for sure.
yes, the last one I got is right here with me. It is the Famicom release of RoboCop.
Ah,
In I only have box Famicom games actually.
dang.
So the biggest one I got recently, though, is that not on my desk? No, sadly not. I got a really, really rare game for a good price recently, but I have put it away somewhere.
You're gonna save it
I
for one of
guess yeah,
your
one of my
the.
pickup videos on. Uh, I
There's
can't give everything away for free here, so
there was a
wow.
$5 donation a little bit earlier for five
Okay.
dollars from Xenos Paradox. Thank you.
Oh, cool.
Saying, Audie, I'm really enjoying the PS1 launch video from you and John. Just wanted to say thank you for all the great work that you both do. That
Oh,
was
thanks so much. Yeah, the part two came out today for public.
that's right.
The 3 hour version came out uh, last month,
Hmm.
and we actually released our new DF Retro on the Patreon today. So if you
Oh,
remember, you can go watch the new one.
I don't know if I know what it is. Do you, I shouldn't spoil it though.
Uh, I think it's being revealed publicly tomorrow on the Direct.
Oh, okay.
Actually, no, we posted it on Twitter. What am I saying? We posted the announcement on Twitter, so it doesn't matter. It is Super Star Wars.
Oh,
So,
I'm
and it's a much bigger episode than just Super Star Wars. It's just that that's kind of like the thread of the whole video. But it was actually John was pretty busy this month, so I actually wrote the entire script
really.
and did a lot of the work for this one, and then John did a lot of the main editing, obviously.
I'm a big
So,
fan. I
oh
got it's one of the few games I have complete in box.
yeah,
I mean, I think it's better
yeah,
than Empire and Jedi,
yes, it
like
is.
a
We actually
significant
talk
amount.
about that in the video. We talk about how like they got the core, got the core idea down in Super Star Wars, but they never really expanded upon the ideas they put in place. They just added new ones and more difficulty.
Yes.
And the force powers and stuff. It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. Yeah.
So.
And they really stretched it out to be so long that it's like.
Yeah. Especially Empire.
Yeah.
I think Jedi is the thing about Jedi, Super Jedi, is it looks like a LucasArts adventure game. It's the one that looks the most like, a LucasArts game.
Right, but it's all Factor 5 did it, right?
No, that's
Factor 5
software.
Did oh, that's right.
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So, yeah, but Super Empire, I think that's the worst of them, and I really didn't enjoy that. Interesting, if you like Super Star Wars, of course, there was a PS4 port and PS Vita port.
Right.
And I actually talked to the developers of those ports, and it's not emulated. It's actually a straight up port to the PS4 and Vita from the code base. Yeah, I thought it was emulated. So I reached out to Code Mystics, and they were like, it's not emulated. Like, we had the source code and we made it into a PS4 build. And I was like, wow, okay, so that's why you can like turn off, slow down stuff. I had no idea.
So. That makes it a lot more interesting for sure. That's cool.
Oh, absolutely.
It makes me a lot more interested to buy that version too.
It's good. It's really good. It's probably the best version.
Really?
Because you can turn off the slowdown.
Yeah.
So, and then we also go a lot into the canceled DOS port for Super Star Wars, and that was a lot of fun.
I had no idea.
Because it's really good. Yeah. Well, now you got to watch the episode.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I mean, I'm a big fan of it. I mean, I especially that first one. I would say that Super Star Wars was the game that got me back into Star Wars. Because
same, and that's actually when I was one of the reasons why I wanted to write this script was that in the I'm a big Star Wars fan, and in the context of video games and Star Wars, like 1987 or so, Star Wars was dead.
Yeah.
The toys stopped. There was no new movies. The novels were put on hold until like Timothy Zahn came around. But the Star Wars NES game and Super Star Wars was actually what brought Star Wars back into mainstream. So even more so than the Timothy Zahn novels.
Oh yeah,
that was for adults. It was really successful, but it was the kids that made Star Wars big.
Yeah, I mean, I read it hit at a perfect time. When did Super Star Wars come out? Like 93 or 92 probably.
92.
Right, because I played Super Empire when I went to the Summer Consumer Electronics Show in 1993. I remember. So it would have been like the year before that, because they were yearly releases, or just about a year apart.
Exactly a year apart, each of them.
So it's
by design.
Oh, I thought that maybe the first one was a lot more popular than they expected, because, I mean, I bought the first one because it got Game of the Month in EGM at the time. So
I do remember that. I have that EGM copy still. No, it was by design. It was actually from day one planned that they would make all three games, and the game design was laid out for all three games. But it's kind of confusing because, as we just mentioned, I don't think the sequels hold up. So you would, the fact that they were designed ahead of time would make you think that like it should have worked out. But I think what's happened was that they were trying to expand. Like the force powers is such an indication of this. Like I think the idea was on the paper. This game will have force powers.
Right.
And then when they got to the development, it was like, we'll make 7 force powers, and none of them are useful in the game except for a heal. So, yeah.
Do you go into in the video? Do you talk about how? I mean, I never really understood why this happened, but it was when it was reprinted. It was reprinted by THQ.
So I try to. We don't go into it just because I could not find any. So obviously, it probably has to do with the Star Wars license in itself. That THQ picked up the console rights for it in some way, because they were. You're right that they got reprinted, and we do talk about the fact that they did get reprinted because that was with the special editions.
Right.
And I remember that, like in magazines, when they promoted the VHS, they also mention in the text that Super Star Wars, Super Empire, and Super Return of the Jedi would be available on store shelves for a limited time, which I think is the only time I've ever seen that for a Nintendo game of that kind.
Right.
So,
And
but I'm not sure. My guess would be that THQ probably had a deal with Lucas Arts at the time, or Lucasfilm, and so it was just kind of like, well, we're reprinting these, so it has to be published via THQ due to this licensing deal.
I just realized I didn't tweet this stream, so I'm going to do it. I'm also got to read some of these donations. I'm a little bit behind here. I'm sorry about that.
We've been talking.
We've been talking about. It's all right.
See, this is the thing. Corey and I, we love movies, and I don't think we get to talk about that enough.
Not that often. It doesn't
Man,
seem like.
we should do a stream one day, like a movie game stream, where we just play games based on movies we love, so we can talk about the movies rather than the games.
Yeah, I think. Hang on, I'm just going to retweet your tweet. That's what I'm going to do.
All right.
Because you're already way ahead of me. Yeah, I mean, it would be fun to just do like movie games or something like that. We could play RoboCop on the NES.
RoboCop, Hook on the Super Nintendo, one of the best games on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that's another game that got game.
I love
the Sega CD version, I think, got Game of the Month. But I think that the SNES
Super Nintendo version is better.
A lot better.
Yeah, I like the orchestrated John Williams score, but it doesn't fit the game.
Yeah,
like the way it was arranged by Yokote was like perfect for the game. And when you just put the orchestrations there, it slows the game down. This is a huge man. I hope GameSack is in the chat because I have a bone to pick with them. Like when they reviewed Hook, they were like, "Oh, it's slow and it sucks." It's like they didn't even know it has a run button.
Yeah,
you're supposed to use
the
run
button,
for it to
Joe. Kick in, you know.
Yeah.
But speaking of which, there was $5 from Aaron Welsh saying, asking if I burst the blood vessel when I was doing the Sega CD skit for Joe. No, but my neck was sore for like at least a couple hours afterwards. I think he was expecting me to just like do it like on the commercial.
Mm.
But when I gave him like this, I was just really, really angry. In the video that I gave him, he's like, "This is a lot better than I thought it was going to be." So,
if you watch the part 1 of our PlayStation launch, there's a segment about Mahjong games, and for that we decided to do a wrestling promo basically to talk about it because there's nothing to talk about with Mahjong. And so I wrote that up in like 5 minutes and we recorded it in one take. But I just remember that I'm not a loud person. I have to like shout to be heard barely on microphone. So for me to do like yelling into the microphone thing, just like you, I had to like, kind of strain myself.
Yeah.
And it's like I was using like vocal muscles and neck muscles I haven't used since like soccer games when I was 10 years old. So I was like stiff, I remember, after doing that.
It's fun though. I've been, you probably felt the same way after doing the Mahjong segment, where it feels kind of good to just like let yourself go.
I know,
like that.
right?
And it's not something that I do like. I've really never done
you and
publicly.
I were like, we're like the gentle people, right? We're just like, we have goatees and we smile on camera. Like that's what you and I do.
Yeah, we're just we're laid back most of the time.
We have we both of us have like this partner that's way more boisterous and outwardly than us. So it was like our time to shine, baby. It's like, but yeah, I did watch the GameSack skit with you guys, and I loved it. I loved the other skit you did too when you're actually in person.
Oh yeah,
and Joe pretends to be Try. It's one of my favorite GameSacks of all time.
To steal my copy of Britney's Dance Beat, and if you see the segment, there's like a little nod to that in there, right? Show how I
also saw Bubsy 3D in there.
Yep, that's something I actually shot for the Retro Tank episode that never got used.
Oh, finally!
I mean, tried to not put that in there. All right, there was $1 from Chris Fratz Thank you. Saying Happy 4th of July, Corey. And Audi, even though you you are an American, hope your day was good. I hope you like
I
my
live.
Audi Wan Kenobi that I posted in the DF Discord.
Yes, I saw. I saw. Thank you for ruining my image more than I do myself. But yes, I did. I used to live in the U.S. for a long time, so I've celebrated many 4th of July. So 4th of July is still kind of like a holiday to me. I have very good memories of it because it always meant having like a barbecue with friends and just there's no place on earth where friendship is more heartfelt than in the U.S. I think it's like you can really feel who your friends are in the U.S.
I went to a pool today, like a public pool for the first time since the summer before last, and I couldn't believe how many people were there. For one thing.
Do people still use them after that South Park episode like 20
Oh
years
yeah,
ago?
I mean there's a lot of people. I mean they clean this place up like every year. It closes down for the winter and everything, and they do all this work on it. But it was, I hadn't been out in the sun like that. I could feel like my skin like searing. I'm definitely gonna be sunburned tomorrow. But it was just like a nice way to spend today. Although I do have tomorrow off as well, so that's nice. There's also $5 from Dingus Galert. Thank you. Saying I just got back from my 8-month-long work assignment in Fiji about 4 hours ago. Glad I could catch the stream. You know, Fiji.
Wow.
You can't get any further away before you start coming back.
Yeah. Wow. That's awesome, huh?
What's that?
So.
If anybody can name that movie in the chat, it's not super hard, but that's what I always think of when I think of Fiji. There's also $10 from Craig Wan. Thank you. Saying, after watching the latest episode of GameSec, I never thought I'd see you go over the top nuts like that. Your take on the Sega CD ad reminds me of old school wrestling. Way to cut that promo. I mean, I guess maybe there's funny. A little bit of like Macho Man in there. Or
it was a little, yeah, I felt like that too. So I was doing Macho Man as well for my PlayStation promo. So I was using the same kind of afflictions on some words because who was a better promo than Macho Man?
Nobody.
What a legend.
I always think of that one promo he did with Hulk Hogan. They're just like almost shaking hands. I love that.
Yeah, where it's like an atomic bomb going off as they touch.
They just get real close. They did like their arms are way up like this.
Mega powers. Yeah. I loved Hogan as a kid. Mm-hmm. He was a role model for me, and Macho Man I felt was like he was a bit too wild. I couldn't trust Macho Man. And then when the mega powers exploded because Hogan had some jealous eyes on Miss Elizabeth.
Yeah,
I was like, I knew it. I knew that Macho Man was dirty. So what a storyline.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't watch wrestling too much growing up. I mean, I would always watch it when it was on, but it was never like an event. But I always loved it when it was on instead of Saturday Night Live. It was like Saturday Night Main Event or something like that. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it a lot when I was a kid, WWF and WCW, and it is the reason why I can speak English. I mean, it's just legitimately the reason why I learned English was that I watched that stuff and played video games. But no, I mean, I never took English in school, so not until I was like 13, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I spoke fluent English by the time I was 5-ish because of wrestling.
That's crazy.
Watch, as a kid you pick it up, and it's funny because when I was a kid, and I would speak a lot of English to my mother, and my mother used to go to school in London when she was younger, so she kind of, for some reason, we spoke a lot of English for this reason alone. But I used to like end my sentences with brother a lot because all the wrestlers did, and I didn't think much about that, so I would always say brother. Even to my mother, I would be like, I'm hungry, brother.
Yeah, dinner, brother. In a specific way too. brother. So
all
right, yeah, I see that there was one more donation, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna like get this loaded up here. So I'm gonna like go back to the top of the list here because
right. We're here to play video games.
We are. Although there was $5 from Jake Scott. Thank you. Saying, we all know Coury is a huge classic Sega arcade fan, Space Harrier, Outrun, etc. Curious if you share the same love, Audi. Thank you all for everything.
Oh, are you kidding me? I mean, one of my favorite arcade games of all time is Outrun. It's the first arcade game I ever even played. Was the sit-down cabinet that like leans side to side.
Oh, I've never played that version.
We had it like during summer. It would be on like this fair, like state fair that would come traveling, and they brought arcades, and they had that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to play that with my brother because my brother had long enough legs to play it. So I would sit there and stare, and then he just hold me up. But yeah, and then eventually I would go on to work. A lot was the sound department at Sega, like 10 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So, I've been to Sega's arcade headquarters in Tokyo.
Dang.
The old one. Sadly, it was demolished 4 years ago. So, yeah.
Jeez, that would have been amazing.
It was cool. I saw like all the old development kits and stuff they had there, and got to see Mitsuyoshi at the recording booth, and yeah, it was fun.
All right, I see someone said, "Oh, you should have used the Mega EverDrive Pro for this," and Try has the Mega EverDrive Pro.
Not sure about that.
It doesn't. I mean, it's like the same functionality for the things we're going to be doing tonight, at least, unless you have like I don't know, those like high color videos and stuff or something on here, or is it Doom that uses it as well? You could play Doom on the Mega EverDrive Pro. But I gave the Mega EverDrive Pro that we were sent for review to try. So here we go. We're going to go ahead and start the first one.
Game one. You ready for game one?
Yep.
I guess does it? No, it doesn't say the name on the load.
I was going to say, I hope it doesn't.
It would spoil everything. All right, so this is game one on our 18-game journey.
This is what made you think of it too, probably, that you because you just bought RoboCop. Is this going to be RoboCop versus Terminator, or just straight up RoboCop? I was saying present day Detroit, so I'm assuming that it's going to be.
Well, if you read that text, it already is kind of revealed now. This is actually, for me, it's one of the best action games on Mega Drive.
Really?
I think it's very underrated. RoboCop vs. Terminator.
This is when there was a lot of these versus things. Was it Dark Horse Comics?
Yeah, Dark Horse. Yeah. So there was, of course, a comic. This was a comic book, and I think Frank Miller was involved. I know that Frank Miller did the RoboCop comic at the very least, which was terrible. But I don't remember if he was involved with this one too.
It's a good looking sprite for RoboCop.
Oh, I love the graphics
like the arcade
in this.
The arcade version, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, the arcade version is great. The Spectrum version, it's one of the few games that is good on the ZX Spectrum, and it was the highest selling game on that platform.
Really?
So yeah, it's like legendary in the UK, that game RoboCop, because of this. But no, I think this is one of the best action games on Mega Drive, and then of course probably the best RoboCop game, probably the best Terminator game. I mean,
yeah. What's funny is, like, I can't even imagine RoboCop actually climbing a ladder.
It's weird, and jumping.
Yeah.
But in the comic books and in the original story as well, the idea was always that he was going to get more nimble with better tech. So I suppose it's not too far off. I guess he would be climbing a ladder maybe in one of the movies had they continued.
I love the first RoboCop for sure. I mean,
dude, I am wearing a RoboCop T-shirt as we're sitting here. So I guess my microphone is in the way.
They came out in '87, so I saw RoboCop in the theater when I was 9, which is.
I saw RoboCop in '88 when I was 4. No, wait, when was I born? I would have been 3 or 4, yeah. So
I mean, we were both definitely too young to be seeing RoboCop in the at that
Probably,
age.
but at the same time, I mean, look where I am now.
Oh, this is like a weird gun. The way
Yeah,
that it's
yeah,
just like
that.
floats around there. There was $2 from Chris Ratz saying, insert my obligatory I dislike Terra Onion comment here. Well, we're using that
Why?
Mega SD.
You dislike Terra Onion? I mean, because of their PR? Their products can't be complained about. I think they do great products.
Yeah. Although I haven't like really been thinking about the SSDS3 Pro or whatever.
No.
I mean,
I think everyone's kind of waiting on Analog's Duo.
Mhm.
At least I am. So I understand
I'm
they're not
definitely
the same
interested to see
product.
how it comes out, but
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm just the original version is very, very good. I think after
Yeah,
it's been fixed up.
I have the revision 3 of that, which is probably the best one of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, I like the blood splatter on the window.
Yeah, this game is quite bloody. I think there's an uncensored code on this. I think it can get even bloodier. So, and this version is the best. There is the Super Nintendo game of this that isn't as good. There was a canceled NES game of it, which the complete prototype is out there. But this is the best one, and you know, you're playing it. It plays good. It controls well. It's kind of like a Contra type game, just with RoboCop. What's your feelings on the sequels of RoboCop, though? Because the first movie is one of the best movies ever made.
Yeah.
The sequels.
Two, I was less than impressed with it when it came out, and I can't think if I've really watched it as an adult. I know it was on Amazon Prime recently. I thought about rewatching it.
Yeah.
But it just, you know, the bad guy, you know, was he like?
Oh yeah.
What's like
the RoboCop 2?
Yeah, it just didn't
He's
feel like it.
called it.
Yeah, that's what he is called that, right? They just straight up called RoboCop 2.
The best scene in RoboCop 2 is when they're trying to create RoboCop 2 and they have all these failed experiments, and that's a fun scene. And you know what's just weird about RoboCop 2 is that I think that was directed by Irvin Kershner, who did Empire Strikes Back. So
that's right.
It should have been amazing, right? But I don't think Kershner had the same eye for the satire and just kind of like the vulgarness of the first movie. So it feels really held back by that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the third movie is.
But he gets a jetpack.
I love the idea of it. I love the idea of like Japan coming on and like, hey, we're gonna make it more, you know, agile and like, what's like coded RoboCop, one that just kind of follows a strict order. But the execution is really bad when a character starts flying around with a rocket. Unless it's the Rocketeer, I'm not interested. Rocketeer is a great movie, though.
The Rocketeer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing movie.
It's been a long time since... It had been a long time since I saw it, but then I bought it on Blu-ray a few years ago. Yeah. And I liked it as a kid, but I remember, like, wishing that there was more flying in it.
I know.
But now I'm kind of like...
I wish there was more Rocketeer.
Yeah. But now you watch it, and it just, like, it has such a fantastic soundtrack, for one.
Oh, man, the soundtrack is amazing in that film, man.
Yeah.
And just the whole, like, set design and, I mean, the movie in general is just a fantastic adventure film. Yeah. It's like, one of the best live-action Disney films ever made. It's just...
And Jennifer Connelly in that movie?
I think... I don't... Yeah, why doesn't that work out? I don't get it. It's the same with The Shadow. Remember The Shadow?
I never saw
Baldwin?
That.
I love The Shadow, man. I saw that in theaters, and I was so hyped, and I loved it. I had a Shadow t-shirt. I was waiting for the Shadow game from Ocean. I was so into that, and then it flopped, and I was like, "What's wrong with people, man? First they kill Highlander, and now we can't even have the Shadow." It's like the same with Last Action Hero. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And
Yeah.
when Last Action Hero came out, no one got it.
I know.
So-
Well, I really liked it
Oh, I love
when
it.
when it came out, and I remember everyone was like really down on it, like, oh, it's gonna be Schwarzenegger's like first big flop, I guess. Like that's how it was being, like people were talking about it, and it was like, I mean, I think the movie is much better when they're in the movie. Then it becomes, because it's just really cool seeing him do all this like ridiculous stuff, and then when he can't do it anymore, it's like, it becomes suddenly more scary, I guess.
Yeah,
But I guess
love
that's the point.
contrast. Yeah, exactly. You see that contrast. It's just that it takes up too much of the time. Like
Yeah.
by the time the ending comes around, you're just kind of like, all right, the gimmick is a little bit played out here, but Last Action Hero, it's like a 2005 film that came out 10 years too early. Like
Yeah.
the parody aspect of it, people weren't ready to see Arnold poke fun of himself at that point. Like,
Yeah.
he was still a hero, right? So it was too weird. And Van Damme shows up in that film. He's at the end.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that makes it even better. But yeah, Last Action. I wrote back in the day when I used to write for Hardcore Gaming. I wrote an article about every Last Action Hero game ever made, which is one of the most painful things I've ever done.
Is there any
But
good ones?
I remember I told Kurt Collada, a wonderful person. I remember I told him, like, here's what I'm doing next, because at the time we were kind of a team doing HD 101 stuff. And I told him I'm gonna do a retrospective on all Last Action Hero games. And I remember he hit me up
There's
on a
RoboCop 2
DM.
right there.
Oh, there he is. Yeah. I remember he hit me up on a DM and was like, "You're doing what now? Why? Why would you do that? Like, no one's gonna read that." It's like, well, if I don't do it, no one will. And I went the whole way. I even contacted the original developers of those games. And I remember the first email I sent off was to the lead programmer of the Super Nintendo and Genesis game. And he emailed me back and was like, "I have 2 questions for you, sir. How did you find me, and why do you want to talk about this?" So, oh man.
When I beat
times.
this guy, I'm gonna, or if I lose on my lives, or if I beat him, I'm gonna.
Oh yeah,
move
so
on
the
to game
rule
2.
last time, the rule for the Easter egg hunt was we have to finish 1 level for each game.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'll
Yeah,
go
so
ahead and return to the menu then.
you couldn't wait to get out of that.
I mean, it's not a bad game.
No, it's pretty good. Happy you haven't played it before, because that means now it's on your radar. Huh? It's one I try to show off to people a lot, because I think it gets lumped with licensed video games, and I'm like, no, this is actually good. Game 2.
Game 2. Here we go. Oh, 10 minutes per game, or else I won't make it. Ooh, it's EA.
Oh, trust me, there's probably some of these we won't even do 10. Wait, what is this?
Vector Dean.
I've forgotten already why I even picked. Oh, wait, I think I know what this is.
Alright, start to.
It's the
With
aquatic
the James
games,
Pond
baby.
in the
With James
Aquabats.
Pond, the Aquabats. You remember the Aquabats, right?
I mean, are you talking
Right?
about the music, the music?
No.
Like the ska group, isn't the Aquabats for the ska group?
Yes, but that's not them.
I know James Pond because I remember, the 3 James Pond.
Of course you
games
remember
on the
James
Genesis.
Pond. Who doesn't? So this is the Olympic game. I mean, but what better time, right?
Yeah.
We're in summer of 2021, 1 year after the original date of the Olympics. I think they're doing it this year, no?
How do I not? Oh.
So you have to run. You actually have to try to win the sport.
Oh, I have to hit the button. To run.
Yeah.
It's like a normal.
Then you're supposed to skip over that water.
Can I jump? I can't jump. It's too late. I'm already in.
How do you feel about Olympic Games in general? Like track and field, etc.
Just like Olympic video games.
Yeah.
Never really played any. I guess the only ones I've really played are the Commodore 64 ones by.
Oh, the Epix ones?
Yeah, like World Games.
I
and
love summer
games.
games and winter games. Yeah. The NES version of that is terrible of winter games.
Which one do you think is the one we should play? Or I'm gonna try shell shooting.
I mean, let's try shell shooting. I think they're all pretty similar from what I remember.
Oh, I can't.
By which I mean terrible. I don't even get this. I think you're supposed to get them up to the balloons, right?
So, I think this is such an interesting time for EA because a lot of the stuff they released was very good at this time, like on the Genesis and stuff. And it's funny because I was like really crunching at work for the last few weeks, and I was working on these like these high school sports awards things, and we have different segments and stuff. And I remember saying that for the football segment, I said we should have this music for the background be like the John Madden '92 title screen music. And I sent it to somebody who like probably had never played it or hadn't played like a Madden game in years and years and years. And he's like, "This sounds awesome! Like this is like such better music than I would have ever expected." I guess
was Madden on Genesis. Was that Rob Hubbard by any chance?
Oh, I have no idea who did that.
Oh, okay. He was working with EA at the time, so he did Road Rash. I know that much. I just feel like I know he did like PGA golf. So I don't know if he had any involvement in Madden.
Road Rash has
Rob
a great
Hubbard
soundtrack
is,
too. Like that
amazing.
title screen music, it's like, well, just like EA games kind of in general.
Yeah.
Like Road Rash, they have such a crunchy sound to it that
they had a really good sound driver for an American developer.
Oh yeah.
Most of them just use gems, so.
Right. But those, I mean, I love the like in Starflight. I thought I caught one. Yeah. Starflight has a great soundtrack to it too. I guess I can.
Yeah, that's right. See if there's any questions in the chat. Also, I'll keep an eye on the chat while you're playing.
Okay.
So I don't think there's been any super chats, so send in. But let's see.
But California.
I know
games,
I know you're so into this game.
I'm gonna get ready to move it on as soon as I.
Yeah.
But this is such a weird thing for them to do. You know, to James Pond. What was the second one? Was that RoboCod? What's the second James Pond?
Yeah, that's the James Pond 2, yeah. Or Super James Pond, as it's called in your territory. That is, there's few games that gets Richard Ledbetter more disgusted than James Pond. I mean, I can name one other, but I think people know probably which one that is. Last Colossi says, I love Mega Turrican soundtrack. Yeah, Mega Turrican is probably the best Western-made soundtrack on the console.
We're moving on.
All right, game 3.
Game 3. James Pond, the
aquatic games starring at the
I've already
Aquabats.
forgotten.
Yeah. Don't worry. So has the rest of the world. Crit Strats, you got it. Crazy Frog Racer, baby. All right, let's see what game 3 is here. Oh, no. Is that one that didn't work here?
No, it's working. It just took a little bit longer.
Oh, it's working? Okay.
In the name of the moon, I will punish you. It's gonna be. Is it Sailor? Gonna be Sailor Moon? Yep.
There you go. Have you played this before? On
this is not.
Mega Drive?
Is this the treasure? Like it's treasure or something?
No, you're talking about Yu Yu Hakusho.
Right.
Okay. Yu Yu Hakusho did. Treasure did the Yu Yu Hakusho.
Right.
So, but this was originally made for arcade and Super Nintendo, but this is the fairly rare Mega Drive version, which Was certainly never released in the West, but most people haven't played this, and it's a very, very good version of this game.
I mean, I don't even know very much about Sailor Moon.
I don't know much about it either. I did enjoy the first few seasons on TV back in the day. It was on in the mornings. But yeah, I'm not like a huge fan or anything. I like the video games though. There's lots of beat 'em ups and fighting games.
Oh.
Amiga had a Chupa Chupa game. Sir, you're talking about Zool. He has a name. And Zool was also on... Zool 2 was on Jaguar. And Zool 1 was on Mega Drive and Super Nintendo.
This one, it's...
Kenneth Cummings says he's watched 3 seasons. It was on Cartoon Network, was it? I didn't grow up with Cartoon Network. Like, it was a little bit after my time in terms of like the anime stuff. Like, when Cartoon Network came out, remember, they had like all the old like Johnny Quest, Hanna-Barbera stuff. That's when I watched it.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
I guess that's what's called Boomerang today, right?
I have no idea. I mean, Cartoon Network, I guess. I didn't really watch anything because I was like.
I mean, you were already in college, right?
Yeah. But you know,
well, I watched Dexter's Laboratory a lot.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that either. I know what it is though, obviously, but
I love Dexter's Laboratory, but I think that was the last thing I watched. After that was like Cow and Chicken and whatnot, and by then I didn't really care. It's not that I love cartoons, but I was just kind of like they were a little bit. They were already getting a bit too samey for me. I was like, it was getting a bit too gross out and stuff. There was also Ed, and Eddie and shit like that. And,
right. Yeah. It's I mean, I saw like anime like on TNT sometimes, or just like other stuff that I would never expect. I mean, that's the first way I saw Project A-ko. And Project A-ko is
Project A-ko is that recently was remastered for Blu-ray.
Yeah, and he was in here earlier. Is Ashura, if he's in the chat, he was here earlier, and he's like one of the main people working on it.
Yep, awesome. I love the people over at Discotheque Media. So they are doing amazing work. They've done so many. I usually pick up Discotheque Media whenever they put something out. So,
yeah, they released a Magic Knight Rayearth on Blu-ray.
That's right, which has a great theme song, by the way, and a great Saturn game.
Yep.
Which Working Designs did. It was the last one, right? Last Saturn release they did. Yeah.
But Project A-ko is definitely my favorite anime of all time.
Is it?
Oh yeah, I love it. I have it on VHS. Even like I still have the VHS of it. That I was trying to checking out if a VCR was still working recently, and I popped that in, and ended up watching the whole thing. I love it. It's so ridiculous, and the soundtrack in Project A-ko is so good.
Awesome. Yeah, it's so good.
I mean, it's all like English too. It's but it's like that that 80s anime sound.
It's the perfect aesthetic and perfect sound, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just that late 80s. I mean,
pop kind of, but it's like
it's city pop most of the stuff. But the thing about anime, even though I worked in Japan and the anime stuff, visual novels and anime, and for 10 years now. I don't really watch much anime, but when I was a kid, I really got into one called the Minion Tank Police.
Oh, yeah.
Which is still my favorite of all time. I love the Minion Tank Police. That's a shit of manga, the same guy who did Ghost in the Shell and whatnot. So,
if you see there, Ashura is saying, we did an extensive music doc with the two guys who did the A-ko's soundtrack and vocalist. One of them was the voice of Jem from Jem and the Holograms.
Yep, right.
That's crazy. I guess that's
I
awesome.
love the Discotheque Media stuff. If by the way, Ashura, if I can ever do audio commentary or help out on Discotech Media, please contact me. I've been doing a lot of audio commentaries for Blu-rays lately, a lot, because I was doing all of those Jean-Claude Van Damme re-releases, and then I got hired to do all the Jackie Chan Blu-rays.
Oh, wow.
Well, not all of them, but many of them. And most recently, I think it's been announced, but it doesn't matter if it hasn't. But I did the audio commentary for the Story of Riccio.
You know, I just talked to somebody about that.
Insane film.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
And so I did all of the research and stuff for that. I recorded the commentary, and I had my friend from my company, Chris. I had him join me because he's never seen it before, and I wanted someone on the audio commentary discovering Story Ricky for the first time, and it was an amazing experience. So I really,
I mean,
really enjoyed that.
It's definitely like a mind-blowing movie the first time you see it. You cannot quite process exactly what you're seeing.
No, but at the same time, I watched that, again, way too young probably. But I remember that was a movie that, like, it felt illegal to watch it because you had, like, on a VHS with, like, the all the noise and all the grain that comes from a VHS tape, plus CRT. Like, it made it look so real, visceral, and kind of illegal, right? And then when I was doing the screener for the commentary, we were watching it in like a newly remastered like 4K master. So I was watching it and I was like, man, this looks so clean and pristine and wrong. Like Story Riccio should look dirty, and like it should look like it's basically from like a basement of an abandoned mental asylum.
Yeah.
So I talked about that in the commentary, and because all those effects and stuff, was just
it's all practical stuff because it's just like prosthetics and stuff. I was thinking of the guy who like cuts his own intestines out.
Anime. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah,
when
you
tying
talk
up
about
his tendons.
When you talk about it like looking dirty, I feel the same way about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I feel that's that should never be cleaned up.
Nope.
It should always look as grimy as possible, because that is exactly how the movie is supposed to make you feel after you watch it.
I see Ashura talking about the Fatal Fury anime. I wish you would talk to me because a few years ago I met with Obare-san, who did the actual art design for the Fatal Fury anime, especially the motion picture. Yeah, what a man. What a man. Like, that was one of the most amazing nights of my life. Incredible guy, and I interviewed him because of his connection to Toshinden. So, but yeah, I mean, I would love to work with Discotech for any video game related release or any anime release that needs any commentary. And
you did hopefully it's already out. You did a commentary for Street Fighter the movie.
Oh yeah, that's out. It was sold out. It sold out really quickly. Yeah, we did that. I did with John Lindman.
The next game, by the way.
Yeah, go ahead. It's a good game though.
Yeah, it feels really kind of weird to play a brawler where you don't grab on the people, though.
I know, right? For Street Fighter the movie, yeah, they were re-releasing Street Fighter movie on Blu-ray with all the bells and whistles, and we got contacted to do that commentary, and that was the kind of beginning of me doing audio commentaries. So, VR Fighter versus Taken 2.
Taken.
Can you play as Liam Neeson?
I know it's gonna say. Taken.
Have you ever played these kinds of games? I don't think you're much into bootlegs and hacks, are you?
Not a ton.
But now you are.
VR Fighter.
VR Fighter.
Versus it could be Taken 2 or Takens. Really, it could go either way.
Takens. So I'm just gonna keep catching up a little bit here with the stream. Yeah, I should have. Just hit me up anytime. I'll do it for free for you, just because you're a friend of Coury's. Victor Berg is here. He talks in Swedish, so nu har jag tvättat händerna. Det är längre fettiga kind of heads. So he's saying that he just washed his hands and they're no longer fatty. They're no longer greasy, I guess. Good to know.
Geez, and each one of these is like best of 5 or best of. You have to win 5.
Yeah, look at that. Like they had a lot of confidence that people would want to play this game. I also love how brightly lit you are during this game, as if it's just like.
Because my lights always dim at 9 o'clock. That's the reason.
Yeah.
So now that you're just seeing more like from here, but it's like.
So this, I think this is. So I'm not very familiar with it, but Virtua Fighter 2 on Genesis. I think this is based on that, right? Because that was a 2D game.
Right.
But I'm sort of impressed by this. At the same time, it plays terrible. But I somehow love the idea and the fact that they went through it. Because that is Kazuya, so you can't really, you know.
I guess it's appropriate with Kazuya coming out in Smash pretty soon here. Oh, see, Hakame has.
Thank you.
You have to win 5, or he has 5 slots, but you only have to win 2.
Yeah.
Pai Chan was always my favorite in Virtua Fighter. So.
I always liked Kage.
Oh, he's a ninja.
Yeah, and he's voiced by Mitsuyoshi-san.
Oh, I just think about the only voice I know from Virtua Fighter is when
Jeffrey.
is when Sarah Bryant says, "Even good guys blow it."
Oh yeah.
We always thought that was the funniest thing when I was younger. I'm not gonna be able to even win a single round. I think that's a telltale sign of a bootleg game where it's basically impossible to win a match.
Yeah, there's almost no such thing as a good bootleg fighter.
Yeah.
Like,
a fair,
I have most of them.
fair game.
Yeah,
a balanced bootleg fighter.
But I mean, you got to give it to VR Fighter versus Taken 2, though. They tried. And I kind of like the doves that you see in the background there.
Yeah, the voice is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said voices at first there, but
no, doves. I think that's doves, right? Or is it seagulls? I don't know.
Birds. All right, I'm gonna move on. But that's
Nate the Gamer says, just tuning in. Is this the game with Muhammad Ali and Goku? No, that is Top Fighter 7. There are no Top Fighter 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1.
All right, so here we go, game 5.
All right, game 5. We're already at 5.
Oh, that's Sonic. What's it gonna be?
That means nothing.
Captain Bozo and Ranger.
What is this? I actually forgotten. This doesn't tell me anything off the bat.
I don't know. It's looking like.
Oh, I know what this is.
Oh, is this one where he gets fat?
Yes, it is.
He's like eating the
It's
onion
the
rings.
onion rings. And you have to run to work out.
It's just like that gut, man. He's like.
I love that gut. He has the perfect dad bod right now.
Imagine if it was that easy to get. You eat 10 onion rings, and you like can no longer
turn
do
into
anything.
that.
Like, am I stuck here now? Oh, got the shoes on.
You got the shoes on. You gotta run and jump to work out. Wow.
When that happens, I see. Are you like, or is he like losing? I like how his mouth is just like, oh.
No. Oh no, he died. I guess he had a heart attack. What a terrible game.
Onion rings. Oh, but you can't get them, or else you're gonna.
Yeah,
die.
that's the challenge in this game. You have to avoid the rings, which is an interesting challenge.
So
There
I
is
guess
some
the idea
strategy
is to
to
get
this.
one.
Yeah, you have to get one too, not. Is this the type of hacks that Coury hates? Do you hate any type of hacks?
I mean, I mean, I don't really mind, but I mean, do even any further levels exist?
Dying at the same place.
Like then Emerald Hill, you have to just make it to the end of the 3 Emerald Hill levels, and there's like the rest of the game does not exist.
Yeah, right.
Because I can't imagine anybody playing all the way through Sonic 2 like this.
I'm sure there is a long play somewhere on YouTube.
It's pretty funny,
was
though.
a super chat, I think.
It might
popped out on screen, but I can't see it in the chat.
It's from Chris Ratz. It's some people can send them through Streamlabs, and those just go like through PayPal. So they don't
okay.
It's $1 from Chris Ratz. Thank you. Saying you should have given him Sonic 1 Omochao edition.
Omochao, yeah.
If you want more Sonic hacks to play, especially the joke hacks, hit me up. All right. So that's funny. You can see it. It's like affecting the demo too.
Yeah, it is.
And obviously, it's not programmed in a way to deal with it. It's just a typical like demo, but it's like affected by the gameplay. Captain Bozo,
we salute you
for making an impossible game.
Oh, isn't it possible though? As I said, I'm sure there's a long play. I did not make it. I can guarantee you that.
Let's see. I mean, obviously the other levels do exist, but let's see how the game reacts to it.
That's the most interesting part. Huh?
Yeah, to see how the demo reacts. I mean, it doesn't matter how fast he's going. He just gets fatter and fatter.
Oh no, he picked up the 10 rings.
I know. And I like it just like catches up with him. He's just standing there for a second. It's like, oh.
So he died in the demo now.
Yep. Oh, and it starts over again.
It restarts. Does that reset the timer too? I wonder.
I don't know if it just gets in an endless loop of demos.
Yeah, you're probably right, but that's crazy.
Because it gets those 10 rings right there, and then it's like dead.
Boom. So now you're right.
There's
interesting.
There's $4.99 from Munam Belial. Thank you. Saying love GameStat skit. You showed your angry face at Joe for Sega CD and stealing your Britney's dance beat. Also, when's another Modern Controllers episode? I don't know exactly when the next Modern Controllers episode will happen. I'm sure that's something that we need to get moving on. We've had some people like asking about it. Like the third-party controllers video that we did is...
Yeah, that was awesome.
But it's like our most viewed non-RGB video.
I wanna do a third-party controller episode with you, but we only play with Cheetah joysticks.
I don't even know what those
are.
So
Cheetah joysticks, and so those were licensed joysticks here in Europe, which were shaped like Batman, Terminator. Like they're shaped like a figure. Like it was licensed joysticks for the NES, and you can't use them. Like they're like ergonomically, it's impossible to use. So, I've been trying to buy a few of them. So
that doesn't look like.
Oh, this one doesn't work, huh?
No. Froze the system too. So that was number 6, I think.
Number 6, huh? I wonder what that was. I can't remember. No. Oh, it's moved now.
I just reset, but I can. Let me access the menu after
that. This is tanking the bitrate. I'm sure. Oh, there's another super chat.
From
They're coming in steady now.
Thank you. Happy 4th and great job on GameSack. I really like the end skit as well. The end skit was really fun to make. I mean, it didn't take a lot of effort. I probably shot like my bit in 10 minutes. I gave him 2 different takes. And there was one I had an extra line in the other one where I said, shoot the tubes, dog meat, that he did not use. But my favorite part of the whole ending skit is like there's one point towards the beginning where it just like cuts to me really quick, just like making a really mean face, but I'm not saying anything. It's just like a quick cut to me going, "Arr."
I made a when I was on game. I actually wrote a GameSack episode, which is the bootleg games.
Oh, I didn't realize that you did like more than that, more than like the ending stuff.
No, I wrote that episode. I mean, Joe wrote some of his own dialogue, but I wrote the actual research and most of the actual jokes. And yeah, I also did the end skit there, which was the bootleg game sack, which was really fun to make. So, and then for the Super Star Wars episode that's on Patreon right now, I did an end skit with Richard Ledbetter.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I think I showed that yesterday.
Yeah,
that was really fun to make.
I didn't get a chance to watch it. I saw you posted it, but I didn't like even turn on my computer yesterday. Somehow. So we're playing Baby's Day Out.
The best movie ever made.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
This was not released, by the way. This is a proto dump. And I don't mean dump as in dumping the game, by the way.
I feel like I saw something when this came out. Was there something on the movie poster for this where the baby is like on like a steel girder on a like an unfinished building or something? So
they had to they had to get that away. They had to recall that.
Oh, really?
Yep. At least here, they had to recall because he's dangling like 400 feet above ground.
But that is something I have not thought about since I saw
movie?
that. Oh yeah, I mean, since I saw that poster. I mean, I've not thought about that poster in. God, I mean, how long ago was that? Like when this come out? 92.
No, 94. This was like at the tail end of the dark years of Home Alone. This was like when we really had gone as far as we could with that. It was Dennis the Menace, the movie, and then like Baby's Day Out, and then someone came in and was like, we gotta stop this. We can't do more of these.
Post was it Baby Geniuses?
Oh, this was pre that. Baby Geniuses is like what, the 2000s sometime?
Oh, was it? Because was that the one with the kid from Jerry Maguire in it, right? I think.
Is it?
I don't know.
I haven't seen Jerry Maguire in a long time, so I'm not sure. I also haven't seen Baby Geniuses, so I cannot comment on this.
Never seen it either. This does not seem like the kind of game you would expect from Baby's Day Out.
Oh man, there was a super chat from Victor Badekir, and I need you to read that.
1 second. From Victor Berg.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like, hey Audi, har jag, I super chatting new Suka caviar och Sturströmming. I know HAJ because
hey.
Yeah, I mean that's what they say in the window at IKEA.
That's right. All the Swedish you need to know is at IKEA.
Yeah.
You know how to get meatballs. You know how to get furniture. Yeah, most of the super chats do not go to the window, so I can't actually read that myself.
Well, the ones
I understood what you said, which should be noted. I mean, you said it good enough that I would understand it. So,
what was it? Something super chatting. Oh.
Yeah, he's in the super chat now, and he was eating caviar and surströmming, I think. As far as I understood what you said. So, Swedish caviar is. I think you can't think Russian in this case. Scandinavian caviar comes in a tube. We just squeeze that on top of bread from a tube, and we eat that. And it's very salty, very smoked. It's delicious. I love it. I put it on eggs.
This is so weird. This is so nonsensical.
Oh, this is offensive. Turn it off. This isn't a video game. This is
I feel
some
really
sort of
bad
like
for them trying to
ancient
make
torture
this, though.
device.
Like,
I am sort of impressed by the digitized sprite on the baby,
yeah.
just the quality of it.
I want to see what happens.
But
I can get over this.
Can you imagine if this actually came out and someone bought you this for your birthday? Like, it would be so awful.
Well, there's that, but I just can't even imagine the morale at the studio working on this.
What were they trying to do here?
Well, it's just like I can't believe this is what I have to do. I've want to make games so bad.
How did you come to this conclusion from that film? Because the film is all about like the baby crawling around in the city and like those guys being like, you know, murdered over and over. So
the guys in the picture
where are they? Like, this is terrible. This reminds me of the NES Home Alone from Joshua Helmicki. Yes, that is also not a good game, but I think Home Alone on Mega Drive is actually quite good.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure if it's completely true or not, but someone once told me that that's one of the first games with crafting in it.
It's probably true to an extent. Whether or not there's every time someone says this is the first of something, there's always the actually guy coming in with like some obscure like Amiga game or something where like something kind of close to it is in there. So I never say anymore it's the first. I just say it's one of the first.
All right, so
was that game 6 or 7?
I think that was 7 because 6 didn't work.
6 didn't work. Okay. It's too bad. We'll never know what 6 was.
Bartman 3010 saying this is all indoors. Clearly, this is baby's day in.
Oh, this one works.
Oh, there was another super chat from Chris Fratt saying, "I like the use of adrenaline horror from Half-Life 1 in the skit." And then,
I don't think either of us got that.
What's this gonna be?
Oh,
warship probably built during a late wartime.
Yeah,
probably.
We're not sure. Well, we assume. See, they know. They didn't say that. They didn't say it was the first.
Yeah,
they didn't say it was built then. Hound dog. I feel like hound dog is a word that you should be saying more often.
Yeah. Entire city under control. Rising dog.
There's a lot of dogs in this game. Dogs day out.
This like goes right to the edge here, like the text.
Oh,
does.
this is serious business.
Oh.
So
yes. I was hoping this was
man.
what it's going to be.
Yeah. This was both John and I's game of the year last. Well, one of the game of the years. For me, it was the game of the year. For John, it was like third runner-up. This is based on the X68 game, and was a port made in 1994 that never came out. And then they found the source code and finished it up and released last year.
I know. I really regret not getting it when Columbus Circle had it. I'm not sure
you don't
if
have
do
it?
No, I was going to. I think that I didn't because I was kind of disappointed with the quality of their Glaylancer
yeah, the build
reprint.
quality. Yeah.
And I think that, but I wish that I had gotten it now. But hopefully they do another.
I have 2 copies. Let me check it. There's one of these I have 2 copies of. If I have a second, I'll just give it to you.
Oh, thank you. I mean, it's like, if not, that's totally fine. Thank you.
No. I mean, I want people to have this game, and I mean, the big thing about this game is the soundtrack by Yona Okeishi, who's just an incredible video game composer, and this is like probably one of the best Mega Drive soundtracks of all time. Just, so good, so good. And I think the game is pretty cool. It's like a beat 'em up, but it's a little bit like
it feels Treasure-esque.
Yeah, a little bit. So
But yeah, I can already
This
tell.
looks
the soundtrack
NES
is-
quality. This doesn't look NES quality. This is pure Mega Drive. Abandoned Witch Retro Gaming, which is an amazing name. I played the PlayStation version of this game, but it's nice to see a port of the X6800 version here. Yeah, so I actually have a boxed copy of the X6800 version because the composer sent it to me. But the
wow.
PlayStation version is really interesting because it was actually remade for the PlayStation, and it's completely different. It has new backgrounds, has a new arranged soundtrack. The gameplay is different, and it's not half bad, but all the Mad Stalker games are incredibly expensive because FamilySoft just never printed a lot of these games. So no matter what, they always become like collector's items. So I do treasure that X6800 version that I have. I never expected to have that in my life. Yeah, Mad Stalker uses a lot of command inputs. Yeah, this actually does use a lot of command inputs.
Yeah, I've
like
seen
Street
that.
Fighter.
Like doing a fireball, like does your
Yep.
gun.
Jeffo, hi Audi, sorry for bugging you. So quite alright, I'm here to answer all your questions. About your name, is Audi a common name in Europe? My name is not Audi, it's a nickname. So I don't need to go into my real name, but my real name is a little bit hard for Americans or anyone outside my country to pronounce. And when I lived in Brazil back in 2004, or no, 2005, sorry. In 2005, I moved to Brazil for a while, and no one could say my name in Brazil. It was just impossible, and it made people not want to talk to me because they generally in Brazilian Portuguese they like to kind of say your name. So for many months, I went by the name of Jack because that was the only name that could quickly come up with. Oh, his name is Jack. I don't look like a Jack, so.
Is there a block in this? Can you block?
Yeah, there is. How do you block that? Try hitting two buttons at the same time or something.
Oh, okay.
I forget. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, Jack didn't fit me, and I didn't react to it. I was like, Jack? Who's that? So I talked to my host family, and they were like, is there a name that sounds similar to yours that we can use? And I was like, well, Audi, the car. And they're like, oh yeah, that works. So that's the origins of me being nicknamed Audi. But some people did call me that in elementary as well, so it goes back further. But that was when I started using it as my everyday name, and I don't think whenever someone says it's my real name these days, I feel like I'm being scolded by my mother. Like I feel really weird when people say my full name. So his real name is Adolf. Yeah, exactly.
There's $5. I'm not sure if you saw this one or not. If you from for Love of the Game, saying what Genesis game do you want translated to English? I want to see a translation of the Hybrid Front.
Hybrid Front. All right. To English. For the longest time, I used to play a lot of Rent a Hero, and I really wanted Rent a Hero to be in English so more people could play that. But that did come out in English. So.
Was that a Sega Channel release? Or did
Rent a Hero?
Yeah, or did it get a?
No. I mean, it was only released in Japan. So.
Okay.
Yeah. The Rent a Hero that was on Dreamcast was supposed to come out on Xbox, but it never did. What was it? Yeah, Dreamcast. I'm trying to think if there are any other kind of holy grails.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it'd be hard for me to pick anything now at this point.
Look at my collection. If I can see anything I would want people to play. Log into my collection here. My chair is falling down for some reason. My lock is getting broken. Alright, let's see. I'm looking at my collection here. Let me tell you if there's anything I own that I would want in English, so people generally could play it more. Searching Aura, that's a really cool RPG for a Mega Drive, and looks really good. It was part of the RPG. What was that called on Mega Drive again? It was a kind of a directive, I think, the RPG directive. It was a thing where a lot of different publishers and developers decided to make RPGs for the Mega Drive. So it had like this little logo on it. I just forget what it says, but it's like the series of RPGs on Mega Drive, because the Super Nintendo or the Super Famicom had so many RPGs. Let's see, catching up with all the other stuff.
Like a Dragon Punch type thing.
Yeah, you can definitely do that. Lucas Diablo, where in Brazil did you live? I lived in Sao Paulo. I lived in, for a little bit, I lived in Itaim. And then... what's the other place? I forget the name of the other place. Jogombi? So, I used to hang out a lot in Liberdade, so... it was around that area. It's been... last time I was in Brazil was 2007, so... I have... excuse me if I've forgotten, but I do love Brazil, and I love all my friends that were in Brazil. I do miss it, and I miss the food a lot, so I would like to go back one day. Does this Audi actually own an Audi? For the longest time, I did own an Audi. But I do not drive that anymore. I would like to get another one, though. They're great cars. Oh, I Lost Armageddon, Illusion City. Yeah, those are good. Another one that I would like in English, and I think someone's been working on English translation, but it's not the Mega Drive, but on Sega CD/Mega CD, there is Shadowrun, the Japanese Shadowrun game.
Yeah. Which is like a totally different game then.
Yes, it's
like
a visual novel.
Yeah.
Like a Snatcher type game with a little bit more of a... I think it has some RPG systems.
Mm-hmm.
So, Guilherme Sousa sends us 5 reals. Since you said you're here to answer all of our questions, when is Mother 3 coming out, Audi? Mother 3 is never coming out. And I think I know why.
Is that something you can share? I mean, I kind of feel like the fan translation is so good that they feel like they couldn't do a better job.
Oh, from Tomato?
Yeah.
It's, you know, that one is probably better, honestly, than what could have been done officially. It has to do a little bit with some sensitive topics that is in Mother 3. I don't know if you can take it out is one thing, and then at the same time, I'm not sure if I just don't know if it translates well enough to a mainstream consumer base. So, as someone that has localized a few games, I just personally don't know if it would work out. I think that's why.
Oh, I can,
but you never know.
You can do a jump jump in the air.
Oh yeah, it's a great game, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, I don't know if you can. Can you hear the music?
Oh yeah, I can hear loud and clear.
Man, it's banging,
awesome.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so good. So they did a live show recently where they performed the soundtrack live, and I actually watched the live stream and recorded it. So we should watch that sometime.
Yeah.
Searching Aura. Someone just started experimenting with translating Tengai Makyo, the Apocalypse 4 on Saturn. Yeah, Tengai Makyo. Man, that was such a big franchise in Japan during the 90s. And, you know, it was the highest selling game on PC Engine. And then it just disappeared. They never were able to... From what I've talked to some people at Hudson about this, and it seems like the downfall for Tengai Makyo was that they never got the right, like, mixed media deal for it. They should have had an anime, they should have had a manga, they should have, like, branched out and I think they had the idea of doing live theater, and they did do a few live theater shows in the 90s, and they didn't do as well as they hoped, I think, and then that was laid dead, unfortunately. So that's your little Tengai Makyo trivia. Someone's asking what brought you to Brazil. Well, I had some opportunities there, and then there's a lot of... The women are very beautiful, and I met a very beautiful woman, so I joined her home to Brazil. I don't know what else to say. And she's still a wonderful person and a beautiful lady, but, you know, we were young and went down to Brazil. So, Searching Aura looks a lot like Phantasy Star 4. Yeah, I think it looks better. Audi, what kind of car do you drive? Right now, I am driving a Mini Cooper S.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
It is not mine. I am borrowing it from my family. Because during COVID, I was thrusted back to my home country. And so I needed to get set up quickly.
Alright, so let's do the next one here.
I thought there's a translation for Samurai Showdown. I'm guessing you mean...
RPG?
RPG. And if anyone translates that, they should be translating the Neo Geo CD version of that.
I'm pretty sure that they were working on that.
Yeah, there's some technical issues with getting it done, I think.
Oh, it's just
this question.
Just straight up MK2? Just MK2?
Not straight up. It's not straight up. Audi, what are your thoughts on the recent Monster World 4 remake port for Switch PS4?
Oh.
I can't answer this without it most likely breaking some rules and NDAs regarding profanity and also behind-the-scenes details. But if you look closely at the credits in that game, you might find a very familiar name. And yeah, I'm very happy that the original is in the game so that you can enjoy it in one way.
Yes. Yeah.
And thank you, Coury, for doing that video, because you pointed it out quite eloquently, much nicer than I would have said it. And you did, just for transparency's sake, you did not come to me and ask me for details regarding that game. You made that video completely on your own.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very happy with how accurate your statements were.
So this is MK Unlimited. It looks like you can play as I saw Kintaro and Shao Kahn available from the menu.
Yeah, so this is a hack where it's basically, as I said, it makes it, a better version of MK2. It's a pretty good hack. I forget, did Pyron work on this one or the other one? Let me double check this. The magic of internet as we sit here. I should have checked it out before I picked it, but bear with me. No, it was Smoke. Which one did Pyron do? Because I know he worked on one of these.
Or not, but
yeah, he did Street Fighter 2, but he also did a hack of Mortal Kombat, which is kind of similar to what he did for Street Fighter. Mortal Kombat 2. I'll have to ask Pyron, because I know he did... he did the enhancement, so there is another version of this with better colors, and that's what Pyron did for this. Uh-huh. Very interesting. Oh man, there's a lot of super chats suddenly.
Yeah.
Okay, for the love of the game says $2. Thank you so much. It goes straight into Coury's pocket. Mother 3 this, Mother 3 that. Where is God pure? He's in your heart. He's in all of our hearts. If your heart is pure, that's where he is.
This is definitely a lot better than the Genesis version, but I haven't played the Genesis MK2 very much because I thought the Super Nintendo game was really good. That was my first version of choice for a long time.
They had to come out they had to come out on top with that one after the first game. So
Yeah.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Solid Unit. Oh well, cool, great name. $4.99. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thanks for supporting My Life in Gaming. Hey Audi, I own a PAL capable CRT. Are there any must-play PAL exclusive games? Well, you have to narrow it down a bit. But yes, there are plenty. And if I was gonna, on the top of my head, say a few, I'd say Asterix on NES is a really good game with fantastic music, and Asterix in general is a fantastic thing. Other PAL games. If you, I mean, I would rather be playing Hebereke, but if you want to play it in English, Euphoria is quite good, and the conversion isn't half bad on NES. Euphoria the Saga, which is a Sunsoft joint.
I played that for the first time on Virtual Console.
Yeah, right. It's good.
Yeah.
But did the Virtual Console play in 50 hertz or is
No, it's
because if you
it's 60.
Wow. Because I know that if you mod your NES and put the cartridge in, it actually plays wrong. It's one of those games. It's the same with Asterix.
Oh, I mean, maybe
it's made for 50 hertz.
Oh, okay, so maybe that's why. I mean, the music is fast, but I thought that was just the way it was supposed to be.
Okay, no. I'm guessing it actually will. I haven't checked. It was supposed to come out in the US, so maybe they put the prototype on the Virtual Console. I got
maybe.
Melina.
Yeah, she's done fatalities on me twice. Well, she did a stage fatality on me the first time. Have you watched the new MK movie yet?
I have not watched it. I promised John I would wait till we went to Germany to get. Well, I go to Germany. He would already be there. So yeah. So yeah, but there are PAL. I also have a great love for the Probotector games. I think those are better than Contra. So anything Probotector is definitely up there, and I could probably list a lot more PAL-centric games. I can quickly look at it. But again, you would have to kind of tell me the console of choice there. But I think also Battletoads, you should get the PAL copy, right? Because the US copy has that the bug with the bike. So yeah,
this is interesting. It has stages from the first one too in it.
Yeah, they've inserted a lot of stuff from different MKs. Yeah, it's actually a very good hack. This is, when you talk about hacks, I mean, stuff like this is fantastic, right? So Shinjan PV, since $5, is Poody's Day Out one of the games in this list? I really hope so. Well, we did play Baby's Day Out, so.
Pooty is my is my neighbor's dog.
Oh, I see.
He's always yelling at him. He's a poodle, and his name is Pooty. And he's always like, I mean, he's like an older guy. I mean, I lower my voice for some reason. I'm in the basement of my house. I lower my voice just because, like, I'm somehow afraid this guy who, like, lives across the street is gonna, like, hear me. But he's always yelling at him. He's like, Pooty! Pooty, get over here! And he's like an old poodle. But his name is Pooty. And it's such a funny name. So I can't not think of, like, Pootie Tang.
Oh, the movie?
Yeah, I don't know why. Pooty, get over here.
Shadow Mask sends $2 and says, shout out to the Sega Saturn translation community. Yes. A shout out to any localizer and translator here. Everyone's doing amazing work, and it's a community in the industry I've been very happy to be part of for many years. Let's see here. A lot of people saying it's great that they included a remake with your copy of Monster World 4 on Switch. Yes, exactly. They included a remake with your copy of Monster World 4 on Mega Drive.
I can talk a bit about the Alex Kidd America World remake.
The remake?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that recently. Yeah.
So this is Generation Lost. I'm not sure what this is yet, but
Oh, I like this game.
because I know you and John did not like it.
No, I was not happy with it.
I kind of really liked it. I played through the whole game in one sitting, and surprisingly, like I was kind of preparing myself for the worst, and much to my surprise,
Oh, not the worst. It's.
I mean, I was expecting to be let down, and I think that. I think the idea was that it was like built on top of a ROM of the original game, but I don't think that's the case.
No, not on top of the ROM, but they clearly analyzed the logic from the 50 frames per second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely has like a judder, but I didn't feel the judder was like too crazy, except for on the motorcycle levels. That's where it gets like, it makes your head kind of like gives you a headache. But I mean, it has like a number of new levels, which I was surprised at.
Yeah. So see, like when we said we don't like it, it's more to do with like, in compare. Of course, it's unfair to compare it to Sonic Mania, maybe because it has like this strong backing for Sega. But for me, I was more disappointed just with general direction of the game. I felt like it didn't really add that much new.
Right.
So, and on top of it, I think the visual style, like the artist that did it, he's amazing. But there's like so much noise on like the screen all the time. There's way too much like foreground elements, and like I don't know. I didn't find it as charming. 15 minutes in that I did. Immediately, I was like, man, this looks amazing, and then it just kind of wears on me.
Oh, I'm electrocuted.
So. Yeah, and then
I mean, I don't like. I kind of felt like it's like a better remake than Monster World 4, which might seem like a crazy thing.
Are we gonna go to the bottom of the well here to compare it? So I mean, obviously, but I mean, the people who made Alex Kidd has a heart.
But I was not expecting to like it as much as I ended up liking it. And the controls are super touchy. The jumping is really weird and touchy. But I mean, I liked how it looked. I really liked the sprite work in it. I liked that when he punches with both hands.
Yeah, but this was another issue that I was going to bring up, was like, there are differences between the graphics, the new graphics and the old graphics, but the hitboxes are clearly modeled after one. So like, because there is a difference in the size of the frame of the sprite frame, like when you swim, for example, I got caught on spikes and stuff all the time because there's clearly a differential between some frames that like, as I was used to the old game, it didn't work out in the new graphics.
Well,
I think they're trying to touch it up though.
Like at the end, there is a part where it has like, in the last level, it has like spikes that are like lining the top and bottom, and you have to. It makes you think that you have to swim through it super precisely.
Yeah.
And I guess it's like this even on the original. Like you can just like swim into it, and then you just like go up, and you can like rub against the spikes above you. You just can't hit them like running into it. It's really weird. It's just one of those things I think is just a mess in the original. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
It makes you think that you can't touch anything, and then it's literally impossible to do it. But then when you realize you can just like rub against the spikes on the ceiling, then it's not that bad.
So the game you're playing, by the way, is a Generation Lost, and I am really into like these cinematic platformers like Flashback and Another World and stuff. And this is one that was it came out really late. It's from Time Warner Interactive, and it was pretty big here in Europe because I remember seeing copies of this everywhere here. I don't even know if this got a US release.
I don't think so. It doesn't look familiar at all to me.
But I think this like looks awesome for the Mega Drive, and it's quite funny. Like the actual story and how it plays out is pretty hilarious. So it's one of those games that I think has kind of been lost to time, no
Hmm.
pun intended.
It feels like
But
visually it looks a lot like the X-Men games. Like that's
yes,
the
it looks
impression.
very much like that, just with I don't know. I prefer the art art direction here.
Oh, for
I
sure.
find the
The
X-Men
X-Men games
games
aren't
pretty
very
bad.
good. Yeah,
No,
horrible
thank you.
soundtracks and everything. That's just.
Oh, terrible.
I do
Mellow
really
Gaming
like
is saying
this.
Asterix on Master System is a good time too. Yes, the Asterix games, man, most of the Asterix games are amazing. Back again when I worked for Hardcore Gaming, I did a big article on every Asterix game ever made. I did like a lot of these big retrospectives back then, and that was one of them. And what I discovered then was like most of the Asterix games are great. Like there are very few bad ones, and there are many of them.
I like this grappling hook, this laser grappling hook.
Right? It's pretty satisfying.
Yeah.
I don't like to roll so much. It's missing a few frames.
Yeah. But
Terra Enigma on SNES. That's another great one.
oh yes, that's an excellent game.
Yeah, that's one that's screaming for a reprint these days with all the like limited run and retrobit and whatnot doing. Like Terra Enigma in English and 60 frames per second is a must.
Yeah, and the translation's completely done too. So
Yeah, it
'cause
certainly is.
isn't it like there's one version that has the English translation? Is it like is it like not like a French version or a German? Is it like a German version that might have English on it?
Yeah, I think that there's
But
a
is it-
Figs version. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. I don't actually have that game, believe it or not. So
I'm just trying to figure out what I need to do here. Like, there's something flying at me. These rocks are coming from off screen. I don't know exactly where they're coming from.
I only discovered today that Gunner's Heaven Rapid Reload never came out in the US. That's correct.
Oh,
It
really?
only came out in Europe
Yeah.
and Japan.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
that you were
that's-
saying that you only learned that, but no.
No,
it's-
no, I did it's in the DF Retro episode.
Yeah.
So. And I bought the Rapid Reload on launch. That was what I bought 2 games for launch of PlayStation here in Europe was Jumping Flash and Rapid Reload. It's worth a lot of money today.
The Japanese version is.
No, the Europe version.
Oh, okay.
Japanese version I think is like $40.
Yeah, I think that's what I paid for it.
Yeah. Great game though.
Really, really great game. I did a video on
Yeah.
it a long time ago because it was like
Oh, I would have to see that. I would love to see what your opinions on it.
there was a time a long time ago where we were doing these videos like called before and after, where it's like we look at games like before and after the games that like the big games that certain developers did. Like this was like before Wild Arms.
There was a super chat from Joryukin 28, $2. Hi Audi, what methods did you use to learn Japanese? So I'm not fluent. I don't want to get that mixed up here, but I guess I am fleetingly good at it, depending on how much alcohol I've had in my body. But I studied it in school for a little bit, and then just as I started working a lot with, I started working with video game music a lot. So I was dealing a lot with Japanese video game music composers and production companies. That was the beginning of my career. So it was just conversational Japanese regarding music, and then like incorporating some tech into that. And most of the tech stuff is based in English words and whatnot. So I could always kind of bridge my Japanese with English terminology, which made it a little bit easier to fake my way out of it. So but generally for learning Japanese, consumption of entertainment is one thing. As I mentioned, when I was young, I watched WWF and Ninja Turtles, so I learned English via that. But
Oh my gosh,
it's
this is like
this is Squirrel King.
Is this a hack?
No, this is not hack. This
Oh
is
my
a game.
Like Try is gonna go nuts over this.
Yeah, okay, I'll get a
I mean,
copy of it.
it's straight up Chip and
Look at
Dale.
it.
It is Chip and Dale. Is it like Rescue Rangers like
It's
on?
straight up. It's the Squirrel King, baby.
And this is a real, like, this is not a hack or anything. It's like a straight up a real game.
It's a bootleg, but no, it's not a hack at all. Yeah, it's awesome, isn't it?
Yeah. Like, Try's gonna be like, go crazy about this.
Oh, it's too bad he wasn't there for this game. I mean, I forget if we had any hacks of Chip and Dale's during the time. I do know that he's very fond of Chip and Dale.
Yeah.
But regarding Japanese, so consumption of entertainment is one thing, but it's important not to get stuck in this circle of watching, for example, anime or something, which has a fairly limited vocabulary in all things considered. It generally follows a certain trope of each character, and so that I wouldn't say that that's the prime way of doing it. I would definitely say do better than me. Go to school, study it more from a school standpoint, and once you have a bachelor's or something, look into the JET program and live in Japan for a year doing English teaching, and have daily conversational Japanese this way. This is the best way to learn it. And had I been smarter, I would have done that myself rather than brute forcing my way through life like I had to. But I was not smart.
The music in this is great too.
It's not bad if I recall correctly. I can't
hear the music. It takes a little bit of time
to
get going, but once you do, it does. It's pretty.
Well.
It's kind of a nice little jam. This is cool.
Oh man, there is a moment in the Super Star Wars episode that I did just for you, Coury.
Really?
When it comes to jams, I'll have to point it out to you when you watch it. But I did record. I'm not a very outgoingly animated person, but I did something for you because whenever you say jam, you say it in such a way, and I was like, I got to do it too. So. Anyone remember flashback ads in comic books? I certainly do, but what I do remember more is that the Genesis version of Flashback, the manual is a Marvel comic book that sets up the story, and this was not in the European version. And when I bought the game in Japan, I bought it along with the strategy guide for the game that was written by one of the Famitsu writers. So it's pretty interesting, but locked up. Wow, it's too powerful for your Genesis.
It is, but it's a pretty good game.
All right, we got one. But yeah, when I was in Japan, I bought the Flashback strategy manual for Flashback, and that has the comic book colored. So I had never seen that before. So I don't know if it was colored originally or if it was colored for the Japanese version.
Do I have the cartridge of that?
Bernie Stolar killed Gunner's Heaven. Yes, he did. He certainly did.
Yep. Right here. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. You got it. Love it.
It also has this with it. The U.S. Gold Hotline.
Yeah. Yes. What a banger.
Yeah.
When I was at the German game market, I was looking for CDI games, and there was a seller that was he had lots of 3DO and Amiga CD32 stuff, and I was like, "Do you have CDI?" And he pointed to the floor, and there was a bucket, this dirty bucket full of jewel cases and stuff, and he's like, "That's the CDI." And I was like, all right, thanks. And I went and I dug through, and at the bottom of this bucket, there was this brand new copy of Flashback on CDI in this gigantic big box. So I bought that for a few euros. And when I actually look in, I couldn't find any information on it. So I went to the World of CDI Facebook group and posted it. Turned out there was this incredibly rare promotion copy.
Really?
So, they had never seen it before, and we had to start finding information on it. So, I mean, if anyone points to you a dirty bucket of CDI games, go through it.
Does it have
Oh
the?
yes,
Does it have the like the Sega CD cutscenes on it?
yes,
Okay.
the CGI cutscenes.
Yeah.
So here's a game I worked on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Mega Drive version. I worked a little bit on the back end, and then I designed the Western box art for this game.
That's right. I always forget because I thought it was like M2 did it all like in house, or did they design the game or do the game in the house in house?
So this game, so the original version of this game, not the arcade version, but the Mega Drive version, was on this Mega Drive Mini, right? Or the Genesis Mini, and that they weren't happy with that one because that was based on the homebrew by I forget the name, Hige, I think, in Japan. And for this cartridge version, they replaced the sound driver and did some rebalancing. So this is actually the Mega Drive cartridge version.
Interesting. I had no idea. I didn't realize that there was a difference.
Yep, there's a big difference, especially on the sound. It sounds way better on the cartridge version. So this is the ROM for that cartridge version.
I just got the Cosmic Revelation
Yeah.
collection. I didn't realize they had the Game Boy Sagaya on it as well.
Yeah, that's right. I worked on that too. So I think the documentary we made is on that. And
with the special edition, right?
Yep. Yeah, you got the regular edition?
Yeah, I just got the standard.
Yeah. BBA 93. Sorry, we're going all over the place here, so I'm trying to catch up with chat.
Yeah, that's all right.
You and I don't get to talk enough, so it's like we're catching up live with the audience. I live in Japan, studied at school, but after 12 years in Japan, I'm still terrible when I have to use words to express feelings, as nobody talks about that. Well, welcome to Norway as well.
What's the difference between the old version and new version and extra version?
Yeah, extra version is that's kind of like the cartridge mode.
Okay.
I forget what's all in there.
Oh, yeah, saved it. It's a battery, I guess, huh?
Cool spot or bust. I rather bust. The 3DO version is the bomb. I'm thinking you're talking about Flashback. The best version of Flashback is Sega CD. Good lord, so good. That soundtrack.
Yeah, I do feel that the original cutscenes though are a little bit better than the.
Yes,
CG.
I wish I could. I wish I could combine them somehow. Yeah.
I think the Sega CD version is kind of pricey these days, but I was able to get it. I think I got it for like $15 or something like that.
Yeah. Mel Gaming, Audi dropping all these games he's worked on. Sorry, I tend to just, I don't mean to brag or anything.
You've done a lot.
Yeah, I've come to realize that in the last few years because I left the industry for a little bit due to fatigue and depression. So after John was like, I know who you are. Like, I think you would be very good for DF. I was like, all right. And then I kind of come back to realize that I did a lot in a short period of time. So that's why I mention it a lot, because I'm kind of recollecting myself a bit, because I really didn't think of it much for many years.
Right,
to be quite honest with you.
You probably realize, like, hey, it's like actually pretty cool that like I did this.
It's weird these days when like I show up in photos and stuff, and it's like it's like Forrest Gump, where it's just like, you were there? And it's like, yes. Even Richard is sometimes like, were you there? It's like, yeah. It's like, so was I. Like, we crossed paths way more than we thought.
Yeah.
And you and I, same. You and I technically met many years before we became friends, because you were at MagFest.
Right.
Yuzo Koshiro was there, and I was the one handling Yuzo's travel. So, I would have seen you.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy the amount of like little things that may have a bigger impact than you realize at the time, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know if Shinjan PV is still in the chat, but I mean, they're like, I was a regular on this one message board that is like got like slowly like gone in and out of my life over the years, and I've like ran into other people from that message board. Like when we were shooting the M2 documentary, there was this guy, our contact guy for the Mikado arcade was just happened to be somebody that I knew. I had no idea at the time, but then when we met at the arcade, it's like, oh, I know you from like forums, like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Just one of those things
It's
that
funny,
just is kind of weaved in and out of my life since like 1998. Because that's where I got.
It's a small world. It
Where I
really
started
is.
doing video. I was really inspired by the video done for Game Fan Online.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's like I started like learning how to edit video, and I started doing video for the website, thenextlevel.com. And some of that stuff is still on YouTube, but I was thinking about like compiling them. They're all in these. They're really like 160 by like 240 by 160 size videos, because that was like before, you know, like YouTube or any kind of streaming, like even like real video wasn't around. So I had to make these things so small that they were able to be downloaded. Some of this stuff is so tiny, but it's cool. It's cool. It's just so interesting how much it's affected my life, I guess.
Right. Yeah, it's awesome to think about. I see Shinjan just sent you $5, so he's there.
And the NYC TNL gets-togethers are the bomb. A bunch of us from TNL have ended up in the games industry. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are just doing really interesting things. And we would always get together like once or twice a year when I lived in New York. Like a lot of people from that area would get together.
Yeah.
You know, and go out for a night of drinking.
Oh man, it's for the love of the game. It's so important to build a relationship with people in gaming. It's wild knowing people at Beep in Japan know me, and if I were to show, they'd be delighted to hang. Man, I have the same Maruyama-san, and I know each other well. And when the Western version of Cotton Reboot came up, he invited me to work on that, and it was funny because I've known Beep for a long time, because I was really close with a composer by the name of Umamoto Ryu. And Umamoto Ryu left us sadly in 2011, but Beep was very supportive of Umamoto's work, highly supportive. And when he passed away, I took over his estate because his family was like, you know, you speak English, you knew him, you should have all this and keep communicating about him. So they sent me all of his stuff, and Beep was very helpful, kind of getting all that stuff over to me because Umoto had left a lot behind even for a Beep. So Maruyama-san is an awesome guy. I love Maruyama-san. He's very humble and funny. So
we were able to shoot some stuff there when we were shooting the M2 stuff. They let us because of Takayuki Komabayashi.
Yeah, Kobayashi, yeah.
And he is the one, he works at M2 now. And he was there, and he like let us, because he used to work for them at their warehouse, and like arranged it so that we could shoot some stuff in Beep. It was very, very
Did you go to the warehouse?
No. I would have loved to, but that's like,
it's
my mind would have
it's
exploded probably.
Place.
I just know that like the stuff, it's interesting because he did some stuff with, helped out with the Untold History of Japanese Game Developer books.
Yeah, like, by John.
Yeah. I can never pronounce his last name.
No,
right.
Skipetsniak.
Yeah, I always struggle with it, so I just don't say it.
Yeah.
Excellent books, and I helped him do like a Blu-ray release of the videos that he shot when he was traveling for that, and there's just like a big tour of the warehouse, and it's like, because that was before we went and shot the M2 stuff, obviously, and it's just interesting this kind of trajectory that Komabayashi has had, because he was worked at Beep, and then I think when we shot with M2, he was just Naoki Hori's like assistant. But
Yeah,
now,
like a handler.
Yeah, and now like he was like directed the Genesis Mini, like the project. He's like listed as director on there. So it's just kind of cool seeing, and even really
I'm not
really short time.
surprised though.
Yeah,
I mean, the dude is like really good.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Chibi Tech is also them too, and she's a wonderful person.
She did the menu music for the Game Gear Mini.
Game Gear.
Yeah.
So, I see Tilt Tech. By the way, Tilt. Whenever I hear that, I actually think of the documentary called Tilt, which is a wonderful documentary on pinball.
Oh.
And you should watch that if you haven't. You're in the documentary? What documentary? I don't know if it's for you or I, but I think we're both in documentaries. So we're in several.
Hang on.
Go to IMDb, I guess.
I do really want to say that I see Christian Waters in here is talking about the Game Fan chat room, the GF Tavern. Yes, I do remember.
The tavern.
Yeah, the Game Fan Tavern on IRC, which, I mean, when I looked like 8 years ago, still existed.
Oh.
But I think that there's just like people that have been like idle in it for years.
So which game are we on now?
We're going on to number 12.
What was the last one?
Last one was Darius.
Okay.
Darius. I always want to say Darius because that's just...
I always do say Darius. Yeah. Audi, do you know if Kenichi Hirata is around?
Oh, no, I guess
the original Cotton composer. I can't seem to find anything about him. Yeah. Hirata-san was... I know he signed off on some stuff for Cotton Reboot, so he's still around. Unless it was his estate. No, it was him. So I'll look through my old emails regarding this. He might be in one of them, and if I have it, just shoot me a message on Twitter. If I have it, I'll forward you what I have. If you're on Twitter, that is. So
just don't use drugs. What's it gonna be?
Oh.
What's it gonna be?
It's Drug Simulator 2000.
Well, it's Streets of Rage 2, but I'm guessing it is not actually Streets of Rage 2. Across multiple Elseworlds, the Syndicate has been hurt. I don't know if I want to like let it. I just want to see what it shows instead of Mr. X. It's going to be somebody else, or is it going to be Mr. X? No, it's just hands.
It's just hands
no,
today.
Okay.
Oh, there he is.
Axel Blaze, River City Girls, Metro City's Finest, World Warriors, Mortal Combatants. Even those radical reptiles, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So is it going to have characters from all those games, or is it going to be Ninja Turtles? Four turtles burning. Four turtles burning with rage. Oh, sure.
I see some people discussing a certain console in the chat. Don't talk about that. Not around me, please.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles of Rage. The final
shell shock.
Gotta be Donatello every time.
Oh, that's your favorite turtle?
Yeah.
Mine's Michelangelo. Because I wish I could be more like Mike when I was young. He was so partying and outgoing, and I was very jealous. I was like, I wish I could be more like him. Let's see. I'm JF. Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, yeah, I'll definitely send you a message about this. I'll look it up tomorrow, and then I might have his contact information. So at least you can hit him up on the email.
Yeah, the Cotton reboot is out in America in like 2 weeks or something like that.
June? Yeah, I did. If it has been changed, because it's been a while since I worked on it. I actually did the entire localization for that.
Really?
So, yeah.
I'm looking forward to it, and it's crazy that there's like 2 more games. Like it's like there's a Cotton Boomerang and Cotton 2 like compilation, right?
Yeah, the
I don't
Saturn
know the
compilation, then Rock and Roll
What is Rock and Roll? Is that an all new one?
is a brand new one. It uses the same engine as that Success Brawler that came out recently, Bazooka something. It had like Umihara Kawaze and Cotton stuff in it. It was like a fighting game type thing. It was on Switch.
I wonder how you think it'll be any good. I mean, it should be.
I think it will be fine. I liked Cotton Reboot a lot. I was very happy with how that turned out. But, I mean, obviously that's built on a template of a fantastic game. So now they have to make a brand new one. I don't know. It looks fine, but also gives me vibes of Cho Aniki on PS2, which was not good.
It's pretty insane that there's been so much movement on that series though, in such a short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, that's all thanks to Beep. You know,
Yeah,
they've loved Cotton for years, and I knew about kind of like the early plans of this, probably around 2016, I think. That was the first time I ever heard rumblings that this might happen. So it's been something that was worked on for a long time in terms of getting all the licenses and stuff sorted. But yeah, I mean, Cotton's kind of become Beep's little mascot at this point. So
I'm happy
I think
about
it's a great series. Should be bigger than it is.
Yeah, I'm definitely happy about the re-release of 2 and Boomerang though, because 2 is one of those games, one of those Saturn games that I really wanted to buy. That is pretty expensive, and I passed it up. I think at one time when I was at Too Many Games, I think, and I mean it seemed expensive at the time, but now it's like not that bad. I wish I had just bought it when I got the chance.
By the way, this hack is actually quite good.
Yeah, it is.
The reason why I picked this is this actually plays. There's a lot of these, sprite replacements for Streets of Rage, but generally I find them kind of like, I don't know, ill-fitting. This one changes the color palette on the turtles to fit better. The controls are spot on. They even made some new frames of animation sometimes to like fit in with Streets of Rage. So they went through a lot more work to make this look better, and I really enjoy it. And there's a MD Plus patch for this, or the MS2 MD or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can kind of get the music to be all Ninja Turtles related. So yeah, it's a awesome hack. I really think this is one of the best like Street of Rage hacks out there. Let's catch up with the chat a little bit here. There's a lot of traffic. I'm surprised. I'm very happy to see people turning up for this. So.
And I like the moves feel like they have the same like hitboxes, I guess. They're not just different sprites with the same, I guess, like stats or whatever, like area of. I don't know. I'm trying to say. But...
Did Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird agree on this? Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird never agreed with each other, so they would never agree to this.
But it seems like they've started to get along more recently.
Yeah, after they sold it. I mean, obviously. I mean, Peter Laird handled it for a long time, and I don't think Eastman had any. I mean, Eastman was always more into heavy metal, like the comic book, and I think Laird had some of the right ideas, but at the same time he was kind of treading the same waters he always did. It kind of got stale. I wasn't a big fan of his work at the end, and then when they sold it to Nickelodeon and they did the 2012 CGI cartoon, the 2012 CGI cartoon I think is the best version of Turtles. I think that's a fantastic show, and it brought the fun back to Turtles. And I'm not huge, like I'm not the 1987 cartoon kind of guy anyway. Like,
Mhm.
of course, I watched it and loved it more than anything in this world. But my favorite version of the Turtles is Volume 3 from Image Comics. So that will probably tell two of you something. But I thought that, like, that CGI cartoon was just exactly what Turtles needed to feel fresh again.
Yeah. Oh, you're talking
And
about like the movie, right?
no, that was great too. That was the 2007
Okay.
CGI, but I'm talking about the 2012 TV series for
Okay.
Nickelodeon.
The one where
Yeah,
they kind
if
of
you
have the
haven't
big
seen
feet,
that,
like the flat-looking feet, right?
yeah.
Okay.
Uh, if you haven't seen it, it's really good. It's like really good. And then they made recently Rise of the TMNT, which is that traditional 2D
Hmm.
one with the weird designs. And uh, apart from the designs, I think the show is pretty well written. But man, those designs, I just couldn't get behind them. Like, I tried. Generally, I'm a very positive person to any kind of reimagining and stuff. I think it's much more interesting to see an original take than just to see the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
So that's my little Turtles rant. I have many more. Hey, Coury and Audi, I scoured the interweb and cannot find a Mega SD. Any tips? Oh, aren't they
Just
on
Terra
sale
Onion.
at
I mean,
Terra?
they might need to be restocked. But I mean, I think you can like either Terra Onion or Stone Age Gamer are the ones that I know.
Yeah, Stone Age Gamer would probably be your best guess, huh?
Yeah. But they're
'Cause,
probably just like waiting for a restock of those.
Yep. It's a great product, but I think the new EverDrive from Crix is really good as well. So
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people would.
Hey.
They're nearly identical, except for I
Yeah.
guess like
the UI.
and the Mega EverDrive has seen a lot more updates for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that what's
That's
happened
true.
though is, I mean, the same thing as what's happened with the analog consoles, is that these products come out and they update them a bit, and then the updates kind of like stop for a while
Yeah.
while they work on their next thing, and then maybe something else came out. Because I mean, the SSDS3 had like a major overhaul with the menu,
Yep.
but you know, like they're working on the next thing, and I think that's just unfortunately what happens is a lot of the updates just kind of stop coming after like about a year after release, and you might get a release or like a firmware update, I don't know, maybe every 8 to 12 months, but it's not like a nearly monthly thing. That's kind of the coolest
Yep.
thing about the Mega EverDrive, is that for a long time, I'm not sure if it still is continuing, but there was new firmware updates coming out like at least 1 to 2 times a month
Wow.
for
Okay.
a while.
Boner Man. I wasn't a fan of Volume 3, especially with the Savage Dragon crossover. Yeah, the Savage Dragon
I
crossover
remember Savage
isn't
Dragon.
great, but I think Volume 3 had a lot of cool ideas, and I think Eric Larson in general is a really good writer and artist. Unfortunately, he couldn't finish Volume 3, but I think, again, it was just a different take on the Turtles, and I loved seeing them grow up because I was, entering similar ages myself, where it's like it's just interesting to see characters you grew up with and relate to as much as I did with the Ninja Turtles, kind of also grow up a little bit. It doesn't have to, it's just a take on it, so
Right.
don't have to like it either. But yeah, Volume 3, I know a lot of people, when I say I really loved Volume 3, that they're like, oh no, but I just love, especially with Michelangelo, when lately they've been doing The Last Ronin, which is like this, it's not the end of the Ninja Turtles, but it's kind of Laird and Eastman coming back to cap off their involvement. And it's a beautiful, beautiful series so far. But I still recognize a lot of kind of things I liked in Volume 3 a little bit throughout that. So that's something going. And then, of course, there's Batman Ninja Turtles, which is really good, from Freddie Williams' So, and then that was the cartoon recently too, which is really great.
Batman and Ninja
So-
Turtles.
Yeah.
They were also in the Injustice game, weren't they?
Yes, that was the movie designs.
Oh yeah.
I wish they brought in Jim Lawson on TMNT. Yeah, could have worked. As long as it's not Lee Field, I'm fine with it.
I mean, Ninja Turtles. Like, I watched. I love the first movie is one of the best comic book movies of all time.
Yes.
It holds up extremely well.
Yep.
I hadn't seen it for a number of years, and when I got around to watching it again, I was shocked at just how good it still is. The other ones don't really.
The biggest cinema moment for me was going to see that.
Yeah.
In my life, it inspired so much of my life. I mean, the first scene in the Ninja Turtles movie with the cop eating pizza, that was my entire fuel for going to the U.S. the first time, and I dreamt of that moment since 1990.
Really?
To go to the U.S. and eat pizza, just like that.
In New
That
York?
scene, it's just a 1 second frame on screen that's there for whatever parody of like cops in New York, I guess. But like for me, that was like a moment in life that I had to recreate because I was like, that's where I belong. You know, this exactly what I need to do, and I went and did it in 2004. So, but yeah, the first Ninja Turtles movie, it is the best comic book movie of all time, and as far as I'm concerned, and
I mean, it's definitely up there.
it's just
One of my
story-wise, fantastic. Performance-wise, great. Special effects-wise, timeless, completely timeless, and great choreography on the fighting. I don't like the sequels, but that first movie, whew.
Yeah.
And man, yeah, that was just. I get emotional thinking about it.
I remember
see
seeing
Ashura
it.
says.
Oh, God.
Sorry. Ashura says, "Whoa, an Image fan. I'm glad they're reprinting that and finishing it. I don't know if they're finishing it. I think they said they would maybe release at least the manuscripts for the last issues, but they are reprinting it through IDW. So I did love Image when I was a teenager. I read
Oh, yeah.
Spawn.
Same here.
Read Spawn, Savage Dragon,
Wildcats.
Wildcats. That had the Super Nintendo game.
Yep.
And a
what else?
cartoon.
What were some other ones?
It was Youngblood. I wasn't a big fan
Youngblood.
of Youngblood.
That was the Rob Liefeld one, right?
Shadowhawk.
Mm-hmm.
And I really loved the Max.
Yeah. That was on they made the MTV
The
Liquid
Oddities.
TV. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's an amazing animated show. It's really out there, but it's just so like beautiful. It's art, poetry, emotion. That show. So the Max, I read a bit. There's not much to read in that sense. It's very strange.
And a
So
Messiah game. What's it gonna be?
yeah, I love Messiah. Oh, I know what this is. But yeah, Image. Yeah, I loved Spawn, and then the movie came out.
Just Wings of War. Is that what it is? No.
Well, it's Gnaug.
I know this game, but I've never played it.
Oh, but you're in for a treat. Let's see.
But yeah, Image is one of those things that is one of the I was probably most into comics during that time. That was a time when every comic book, you had so many comic books every month. They had lenticular covers and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And that I heard that basically killed the industry for a while. What is going on here? Look at this.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like out of nowhere.
And man, the music in this game.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's Eva Daughter.
Yeah, every comic book, there's limited edition ones every month.
Yeah. That, I mean, in the 90s, you mean? Yeah,
Yeah, oh,
they
yeah.
totally killed the market. I mean, after Superman died,
Yep.
that was basically. Man, that was a weird event. I remember on the like news, like the national news here, like in my little country, they reported on the fact that Superman had died.
Yep.
And I remember there being like an obituary for it. It's like, like Superman, like
Yeah.
Superman is dead, and was he real? But I thought it was awesome, of course. But not that he was dead necessarily, but just that it got reported on the news because that was such a huge monumental event.
Oh, yeah,
and
and
then they
Ra-
completely screwed it up.
But at the time, I really liked the Reign of the Supermen.
Oh
series,
yeah.
You know,
It just
the
doesn't.
lead up or the aftermath was very cool.
Yeah, it was, but also like I don't like just it's cool and then it's not cool at the end. I just kind of
Yeah.
like it doesn't
the
lead up to
mystery.
anything satisfying.
Yeah. The mystery, it was interesting, but then it's like, oh, he's just in this spaceship and he's gonna show up and he has this black outfit on and his hair's long now. You know, there wasn't, you knew that he wasn't gonna always stay dead, but it was very anticlimactic. For sure.
Just catching up on chat a bit here because we've been talking so much. I think this is the most I've been talking for quite a few months. Have you guys seen the weird alternative ending to the first TMNT movie? Yeah, that's on the German Blu-ray where they hang out outside the window. That's really weird. It doesn't really work. So there was an alternative ending. The Ninja Turtles, the first movie, is in dire need of a special edition because in the trailers you can see there's numerous cutscenes, and then there's extended cuts in, I think, the music video by Partners in Crime. You can see that there's more to like Shredder fighting the students and stuff. So someone needs to get on that. For example, this Tech Media, but and then hire me for the audio commentary. But the German Blu-rays actually has an alternative ending available on the Blu-rays, where you can see like it's I think it's April trying to sell her story to like a TV station or something. I forget what the details are, but basically she's sitting in this office and there's a big like window that looks over the city, and then you see like turtles. I guess what's it called? Just when like you have like a rope hanging upside down, looking in the window. So it's like this weird comedic moment that doesn't really work as an ending to the film.
Huh. That's it's weird that was even shot, I guess. They probably thought maybe it sounded good on paper.
Yeah, I get what it is, but it's just I think the ending as it is in the film is better. But yeah, as I said, there's tons of materials and there's been rumors of a special edition for now 15 years, I think, because the original DVDs were terrible from New Line Cinema. They were so busted, and then they had like this DVD trivia game, I remember. And then the Blu-rays that came out in the US, the ones you always find at like Walmart for $5.
Yeah.
The transfer isn't good, so it's too bad. Then the German ones came out, and those are really good and have a exclusive audio commentary with the director. So that was cool. And then since then, there's really been nothing new. So I'm just waiting for my chance to beg whatever company to let me work on it.
Do a commentary for it.
Oh, anything. Just anything.
I remember when I saw that in the theater, the line was so long. I remember I went all the way around the block because it was just showing in a one theater place.
Oh. That was the most successful independent film of all time for the longest time.
So probably
So-
Blair Witch, probably. I bet.
I don't know which one actually dethroned it, but yeah, it made a ton of money. And that was the Golden Harvest production on top of it, which for Hong Kong cinema fans like me,
So
it's very interesting.
was New Line like they weren't a big, like were they independent? I guess at the time, or is that?
That New Line is the distributor now.
Oh, okay. I mean, I should know this.
So-
I just when I lived in New York, I tempted New Line Cinema for a little bit, for like a
Oh.
day, in their mail room.
Oh,
So don't.
That's-
nothing
that's
exciting, but
interesting.
still, it's kind of cool. You know, it's one of those places that was.
well, it's like me. My first job was I was an intern at Funcom. The people who made Age of Conan, but I have nothing to tell you from that day. Everyone was drunk and no one wanted me there.
Age of Conan.
They weren't happy with me because they were showing me around the office and they had, I think I told you the story, but they had this little room. It looked like a closet, and in that closet there was the glass displays from IKEA. And he turned the light on, and in that glass display was like a Sega CD version of Fatal Fury Special, Samurai Showdown. It was Winter Gold on Super Nintendo. It was all of their actual like retro games. I mean, I guess they weren't that retro at the time because it was 2002.
Hmm.
And I was like, man, you have Sega CD games here? They were like, oh, that's some old junk we worked on. And I answered like, that's not junk. The stuff you're making out there is junk.
Yeah,
They didn't
right.
enjoy this. They did not enjoy this comment. So my internship there was short and sweet. Shinjan PV says, I disagree with Audi. I love the return of Superman storyline. It being a kickoff for Hal Jordan to go insane. There's cool stuff with it. I just don't think... I don't like the way it ends. Like, I don't know. It just never captivated me beyond a certain part. So, I think they made an animated movie of that recently, though.
Oh yes, yeah. It was just Reign of the Superman, I think, or maybe it was Life and Death, or Death of Superman and Reign of Superman. I don't know, but I know that some
Yeah.
of those DC animated ones, they are a bit more like rated R, I guess.
Yeah, there's been some good ones from them. I mean, of course, Batman Ninja Turtles wasn't rated R, but it was really good. And then, what was the one? The Dark Knight one.
Yeah,
Dark
like
Knight
Killing Joke
Returns,
they did.
Part 1 and 2. Killing Joke, I wasn't too into Killing Joke's the graphic novel. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's just, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just weird.
That's the one where Robin dies, right? Where he kills him with a crowbar.
Yes.
Because I remember my brother had it, and I read it.
Wait,
read
isn't
the,
that-
the ending, and you know where he kills Robin.
Is that the one where he kills him? I'm not sure if that's the one where he kills him. I know it's the backstory to Joker. Or
Maybe
a
it's not.
variation of the backstory. I don't know if it's the one where he kills Robin, actually. Someone's going to correct us on this very angrily in the
Red
chat.
Hood. Was it Red Hood? I mean,
Red Hood was another... That was the animated film that they did. And they show Robin being killed in that one, yeah. Spoiler.
he shot Batgirl in the spine, right? Like paralyzed
Yes.
her. Okay.
And she becomes the Oracle.
Yeah.
So...
Okay. Killing Joke's okay. What is the one then that Death in the Family? Okay, that was the one I remember reading. My brother
Yeah.
had a copy of that.
It was shocking at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Steve Barron. I spoke quickly to Steve Barron many years ago when I was doing TMNT related stuff. He was the director of the first film of Ninja Turtles. He also, by the way, was the director of Aha's Take On Me music video,
Oh.
which is a Norwegian classic. But yeah, I know he's been always wanting to do a proper special edition, and for whatever reason, I think it has to do with licensing, but now that Nickelodeon has everything, I wonder if it wouldn't be a little bit easier to do it, but I guess not.
What is
Speaking of
this
the Ninja
one?
Turtles. The legend returns.
The legend returns. I like that they're all the same image with different backgrounds and different colors.
Yeah, Criterion version of TMNT, right?
Yeah.
I don't get it. It would sell.
It would do excellent, I'm sure.
Yeah. People want that.
This is going to be the opposite of the other one, of the Streets of Rage hack, right? Although,
well, this isn't a hack. It's a port. This is a game that came out like Flash somewhere. Yeah, I should have saying Nick kind of has everything with caveats. Yes, a few years ago I was at Nick's offices in Burbank, or one of their offices, and because I was trying to get a product officially licensed with TMNT, and they really wanted to do it, but as you said, there was like numerous things that had to come together, and it was kind of getting clear that like that's not going to come together right now, at least. So we'll see in the future.
So what is this a port of? You say this is a port of something?
The moment they can clear that, I will make it. During the 2003 or 2001 cartoon, I forget, they ported this to Mega Drive in Russia. It's not official, but
okay,
that's what this is.
I like that the music is just.
I have this physical. I bought this from like a weird Russian website, and it comes in the little Sunsoft plastic case.
That's probably the best thing about it, right?
Yes. It is also, if you watch the GameStack bootleg episode I was in, you can actually see my copy of it there.
Oh, okay. It's funny because
Joe was not a fan of this game.
The music ends and it just like doesn't resume.
Just yep. It's awesome.
It does not loop at all. Oh, you just gotta walk off the side. And when you have to jump, it propels you like forward.
Yes. This is a wonderful TMNT game. It's lost, you know, most people don't know about this, but this is the one you want to play. The 4K remaster of Take On Me that's on YouTube is amazing. Is it the AI upscaled?
I haven't seen that, but of course that's, you know.
What a great song.
Yeah, a great song and one of the best music videos of all time.
Yes, absolutely. That and the Partisan Crime for TMNT.
Wait, there's a music video of that?
Yeah. Go on YouTube and look at it. It's awesome. That's the turtles dancing around and stuff. And it's a great rap.
What did you think
about? They used to show that all the time on MTV.
What did you think about the CG movie, or the live action CG ones that from
Michael Bay?
Well, yeah, not so much the first one. The first one is not great, but the second one kind of brings a lot of that stuff from the cartoon, and I think at the time, at least, was what they thought was going to be what everyone wanted to see. Was, you know, bringing these like Krang from the cartoon and everything like that into it. I mean, it's definitely not great, but I don't feel like that if they ever do another live action movie, they will ever try to bring the stuff from that era into the movies again.
No, I think they will. There's another movie coming out next year from Seth Rogen.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So,
interesting. So is it just going to be completely?
Yeah, that's just starting over again. So, yeah.
I mean, the real problem
I'm a huge Seth Rogen fan, but like, I'm sure he can make something out of it.
I'm sure that he understands it better, or like understands the stuff.
Maybe more than Michael Bay's production. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably. I really just didn't like the visual design of it, and I find Michael Bay's movies to be
didn't have like human mouths. Human-looking
mouths,
and
probably. The nostrils.
Yeah,
the weird like nostrils.
I saw like somebody took a picture of them and put the classic like snout and mouth on them, and it looked great.
Much better, yeah. I remember that. Yes. So they should have just done that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I wasn't a big. I saw them both in the theaters, obviously, and I seem to recall that my local newspaper wanted a comment from me regarding the second movie when it came out. Not that I'm a celebrity in my own town or something, but I'm a little bit known for being a Ninja Turtles guy and kind of video game guy in my hometown. So whenever I'm actually in my hometown, my newspaper generally calls me for stupid stuff like that. And I generally say no comment because I'm not interested in being in papers or anything.
But did you say something about the second movie?
No, I just said no comment. As I said, like here, it's changed a little bit recently. But I used to live a fairly private life here. Of course, I haven't lived in Norway until the pandemic, basically, for many years.
Right.
But I used to be very unknown, and then recently this has changed a little bit with DF and whatnot. So I no longer can kind of hide, I suppose. So nowadays I get contacted a lot from weird people. Especially, I get a lot of contacts from small development houses around the country that wants me to come talk to like students and whatnot.
Oh, that's cool.
Which I find it's cool, and I do it sometimes. But it's not so cool when I show up and I have like a little seminar about like game design and publishing and stuff like that. And then it's like, so we're gonna put this out on Steam or Switch or whatever. Is it okay to say like that you have endorsed it? It's like I haven't even played it.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like is it good? So stuff like that makes me. I like being private. Honestly, I don't mind doing streams and DF videos and my life and gaming stuff and whatnot. It's fun. I really appreciate it. And I appreciate everyone in the chat asking questions and whatnot. But I am by nature a very private person.
Yeah.
So.
Same one.
Oh,
I'm forgetting what
you wanted to play it again?
I was going back to it. That's probably the worst game that I played.
No, don't say that. You played Baby's Day Out.
Oh, that's true. Baby's Day Out is easily the worst game so far.
Yeah. Chris Fratz is saying that, and also your interview with Bob. I'm not sure what the that is, but I did do an interview with Bob. Oh, I mean, probably being recognized. Yeah, the interview with Bob was also very interesting because I was very hesitant to do it.
Who's that? Why is the music Power Rangers?
Right? What do you mean it's Power Rangers? It's King of Fighters 98.
I know, but the music is definitely Go Power Rangers. I mean, I think it is. It certainly sounded like it.
Or maybe, just maybe, when they made Power Rangers, someone had a copy of this and then just blatantly stole it for the stupid TV show.
Maybe. I mean, visually, like, the characters don't look bad.
Well, we haven't played the game yet.
That's true. I can't get any of these characters over here, or are they just the...
Is
that Cammy that's in it? Is it randomly Cammy over here?
It could be. Let's find out.
I mean,
in 80 years' time, video game enthusiasts will be discussing obscure Audi quotes in this local newspaper. I always say no comment, and sometimes they actually... It is Cammy.
It says Canmay.
Cammy.
Canmay.
It's the bootleg Cammy.
Why not, right? I mean...
Why not?
It's KOF 98. Everyone is here.
So how does it play, though?
Not great. I mean,
I expect
it's
just
very floaty, and I feel like there's no impact at all to the hits.
Wow, look at that.
Can me.
Can be. we gotta make her. We gotta make her into a real person, a real character. Dingus Glurt. Ingen kommentar. Yeah, that's exactly what I say in Norwegian. They sometimes print that, by the way. Sometimes it's not so often. It's not like every week or anything, but when there's been like a game thing or something they want to write about, they sometimes say that they reached out.
Look at Terry's name. Tree. At least they got Rio's name right. Josh Helvig is saying, "What is happening?" It's just constant Power Rangers music.
Oh, it's still Power Rangers? I can't hear the sound, so.
And the curtain in the background. The curtain in the background just says "The King of Fight '98."
Yep, the King of Fight '98. Chris Frats with $2 saying, "I don't see Valuigi, so everyone is not here."
Well, we don't know yet. Maybe he's unlockable. There we go.
And maybe he's unlockable. Mega X6 $5 says no comment. That's right. Every time I write a post on Retro RGB, I'll make sure to reach out to Audi for a comment. Sure.
I'm laughing about
as long as you don't ask me about a specific console. Tree. It's so hard. It's hard.
And
it's like
the other curtain just says "The King of Fight," but it's mirrored. The other.
It's mirrored.
Yeah.
That's weird. Why is it mirrored?
I don't know, but it feels like that's more effort.
The background tile?
It feels like more effort than you would have expected.
Yeah.
Like a weird attention to detail. I mean, I don't know if that's really a detail that they should be proud of, but it's surprisingly.
So is the background then a single layer that they are like flipping?
Oh, it is. If you look at the middle there.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just repeated.
I've never seen that before.
I feel like I'm obviously gonna lose. I'm not gonna win a single round here, but I need to play again just so I can see some more characters' names.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say you obviously need to make a video on this on My Life in Gaming, which I would totally agree with.
Everybody would be.
I'm bummed out they didn't name Rio as Ken.
Yeah, right? I mean, I'm surprised
Dingus
they're able
Blurt. Yeah. Dingus Blurt says his mom is a Swede. That's very nice.
I feel like that. Well, it has. Is it Street Fighter? Super Street Fighter 2? No. It's like a different game.
Wow, look at that continuous screen. What is this? It's like
whoops.
Enclosed?
I need to reset the game here.
Alright, yeah, pick another character.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't start audio every time. My Life in the King of Fight, 98. Pixel Digs is a Swede. Kiana Paul.
So is that Andy and Joe?
Yeah,
I don't know
it looks
who
like
these guys are. Who's this guy? Is that gonna be Kyo in the middle here?
Yeah, it looks like it.
I don't know who that is. But then we'll do like Joe Higashi. Is that Joe Higashi?
Was that the Symphony of the Night casket?
It maybe was it? Oh, the game just locked up.
Familiar.
It just locked up.
Oh no! We gotta try one more time. I want to see one more stage. This is the best game we played tonight.
It's certainly the funniest.
There's the options. We didn't even look at the options. It's probably a stereo and mono sound, which wouldn't even matter. It sounds terrible no matter what.
I'm doing Andy this time.
Oh, Pixel Digs lives in Japan. Where in Japan are you at this moment? It's the same stage.
It is.
You have to beat him though.
Why is it whatever Robert Garcia? Is that who it is from King of Fighters that I'm playing as?
Yeah.
Why is his name Lobot? Lobot.
Lobot. Yeah, what kind of name is that?
It's like named after Lobot from Empire.
Why
Strikes.
did they change the name of him but not Ryo?
I don't know.
Oh, Adachi. Okay. Oh, very cool. It's very cool that you're here watching us from Japan. I miss Japan a lot.
I can't even get a single hit in here.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a very responsive game.
No. And I think I just blocked that too, and it didn't matter.
Oh, someone's saying the L and R, like it's robot? So Robert?
Okay, yeah, Robert Garcia, I think is his name.
Yeah, okay. Wow, they really... Alright.
Can't do anything here.
I remember there was a Art of Fighting anime that came out in the 90s.
Oh, right.
I bought that VHS. And it's awful. Really bad.
Better than Fatal Fury, or worse than Fatal Fury. Much worse.
Dingus Glurt is hungover in Swedish.
Oh, yeah, Andy, right?
Yeah, Fatal Fury is good. That's Andy. At least just Andy. Andy Bogard. When I used to have long hair, I think you've seen the picture of that, right?
Yeah.
I used to have very long blonde hair, and sometimes, I think it was once or twice for a birthday dress-up party, I dressed up as Andy, because I had the same hair. And I looked very similar, because I had the same pointy face at the time. Now I just have a big nose. Battle Arena Toshinden anime was forgettable. No! You be quiet. The Battle Arena Toshinden franchise and anime is great. And if you read the another story book, and if you read the manga, and then if you read into the actual backstory of Toshinden, it is great. I will not hear anything else. Battle Arena Toshinden was also the first anime released on DVD in the US. Which I like the song in the anime. Which anime are you talking about? Humanoid sends $5 Canadian. Coury, how did you explain to your wife that you had to take a picture of a Sega Genesis on the barbecue for the thumbnail? Yeah, how did you explain this?
I didn't explain it. I just went and did it, and nobody noticed me go and do it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nobody said, I can't believe you put the Genesis on there. But I put a paper towel underneath it, so it's not actually on the grill. I have a chance of winning an actual round here.
Best of luck. Oh no! Oh, we didn't die. Yeah, so Toshinden, we will, I think we did announce, or else the people watching this will now know, but we will one day do a full DF retro on the entire Toshinden franchise. And I have already written that script, and it will be a very long episode. And it's my best script so far. Yeah, the Toshinden anime has a great ending song. You're right, but the best ending song to any of these is Fatal Fury, the motion picture with O Angel.
Oh yeah. I do know that.
Yeah, which they also localized, amazingly enough. Love Toshinden on GBA. No, you love it on GB. That's you mean the Takara.
It got a Game Boy Advance? Or a Game Boy, regular Game Boy release?
Yeah, it runs on the same engine as the Game Boy Samurai Showdown and whatnot. It's from the same development team. It's really good. Really, really good. The English version of O Angel is good. Our definition of good is probably a little bit different, but I do love it for what it is. Since we're in 2021, we should bring back Psychic Force. We should play Psychic Force any time of the year, in any year, because I love Psychic Force.
So is
Has
2012
a
is
wonderful
that
theme song with Hironobu Kageyama.
Is that a Dreamcast game? That's a Dreamcast game, right? Psychic Force.
Psychic
2012?
Force? No, Psychic Force 1 and 2 is on PlayStation, and then
okay.
2021, yes, it's Dreamcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting by how long I've been playing this. This game is good. No.
Takuma.
Yeah, it's I guess that's Ryo's father, right? Takuma
Yes.
Sakazaki.
Yep. The Oni. He has the mask on at the end. It's like, Ryo, don't. The man is our. And then the game ends because he didn't play it on a hard enough difficulty.
All right, we got 2 more, I think.
All right. Well, did we save the best for last? Oh no, invalid header.
It just, I think it still doesn't prevent it from
Still
loading.
works.
Oh, it's a Pico game. Is this going to be? What's it going to be? I think this seems familiar. I may have played this in the Evercade episode.
Oh, yeah, that would probably be true. It is on Evercade.
Oh yeah. This is in there. It's on there for sure. It's kind of a cool game, I thought.
It's kind of cool, and then, but it's lacking a little bit of finesse. You know, it's. I don't know. The nose. Blue Stinger.
Shijin.
Yeah, someone was saying that they want Night Dive to work on Illbleed. See, you know what I want Night Dive to work on would be like Shadows of the Empire.
Oh, that'd be a good one. It's kind of
Rogue
surprising they haven't
Squadron.
done that.
PC. Like, I would love Star Wars games. Jedi Knight 2, which their Star Wars catalog a little bit more.
Yeah, yes, for sure. Especially since Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy have already come out. I would love to have a port of the first Jedi Knight, or like do Dark Forces also. The first one.
I love Dark Forces, man. That's awesome. I love the novels. I read the novels of that too.
Oh, really?
I was so happy with Mandalorian that they brought back at least a variation of the Dark Troopers, because it's such an underrated plot device. I also love the Mandalorian, so
yeah, that's very good. You'd mentioned the Timothy Zahn books, and
yeah, Heir to the Empire.
Yeah, I mean I read those when they were coming out. It was
same,
because it was right after Super Star Wars. It got me back into it.
Yep.
And
they released at the same time.
They I mean that's what the sequel trilogy should have been, and they should have done it way earlier than when they did. But
I totally agree. I mean, also, Shadow of the Empire. That whole thing should have been a TV series.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's where it should have been. And then the Timothy Zahn novels probably should have been filmatized. But I kind of understand in a way why they didn't do it, because it's a little bit ahead of its time by making the bad guy somewhat not sympathetic, but you have to focus a lot of time on him, and he's not like an all-out. The Emperor and Darth Vader are kind of like this, imagery of evil. Like, it's just like a fantasy tale of like the witch, the sorcerer type thing.
Right.
But it wouldn't have been that easy with the Zahn books. I think you wouldn't have as clear cut of a villain as maybe people feel Star Wars needs. So I can kind of see why they didn't do it then. Today, I think we would have welcomed it. But they are bringing back Thrawn, though.
Yeah, but it's not the same. It's weird because it feels like they are just doing certain things where they're admitting like, hey, this is a pretty good idea. Let's just will use the character but change all this stuff about him.
Yeah. Thrawn is such a good character, and it was stupid to throw away all that.
Yeah.
So I get why they brought him back, but the context isn't the same for his. I know he showed up in like what's it called, Rebels, the CGI show.
I haven't seen any of those, so I don't really know.
It's not too bad. I didn't mind it. I didn't watch Clone Wars. People keep saying that like season 2 and on is really good at Clone Wars. It's just the first season is really bad.
Mm-hmm.
So, EU stuff is it's so hit and miss, man. Like, there's a lot of stuff that people suggest to me for Star Wars. I sit down with it, and I'm like, oh man, this is bad. I can't be your friend anymore. So I stopped listening to EU like suggestions. But man, I love the Mandalorian though. So.
Yeah.
And
the
the
EU
Thrawn
stuff
trilogy.
before they got rid of everything, there was just so much of it that it was impossible to keep up with.
I totally understand why they got rid of it. Like, I know people got upset about it, but it's like at that point, it was just, and it's not like they get rid of it. They didn't, didn't burn all the masters. It's just it was renamed to Legends rather than expanded universe. So,
right.
And it's the same. It's really
there would be
thing.
so much stuff if they did a sequel trilogy with all that stuff in mind. There would be so much stuff to keep track of that wouldn't give them any kind of freedom. Not that not having that helped them at all.
It didn't help, no.
But
I still liked the sequels. Like, it's not my favorite Star Wars or anything, but I had a good time going to the theater with my friends again, seeing Star Wars, and I don't know, like I'm just not a negative person in general, unless it's like Monster War 4. But
I saw
Pixel Dig. Oh god,
I saw Rise of Skywalker when John was here, when he was home for the holidays.
Cool.
We went to see it.
Yeah.
And when we walked out, we were just
good moment.
It's just it moves so fast.
Yes,
it's really hard to.
It moves at the pace of 3 films.
Yes.
It's like, you have to watch those films with a sort of like it shuts your brain off type mentality. It's just like, is this gonna go boom boom bang bang bang? Okay, that's all I need then.
Yeah.
So, Pixel Dig sends us 500 yen.
Oh, thank you.
It says, I'm really keen to see them bring back Thrawn. He was such an iconic character. Love that they put him in the TIE Fighter game too. Yep, that's right. That is right.
And now
I don't know if you already read that donation or not.
I did not. No.
Okay.
I remember very little about that trilogy though. I remember really liking it as I read it, but I can't.
You should
what was it? There was
listen.
Heir to the Empire, Dark Force Rising, and Last Command. Was that?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But I mean, I don't
you should listen to the unabridged audiobooks. They have really good performances in that.
Really?
So, yep. Check those out. They're on Amazon or whatever that's called. Audible?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would definitely recommend checking out the audiobooks for those, because it kind of gives you more of a feel. It's like a radio drama.
It probably has like the music and everything in there.
Yep, it does.
That sounds more of interest to me, I think, than The Mandalorian I really enjoy, but basically every movie outside of the original trilogy, I just watch it maybe once or twice, but I don't have any real desire to go back to them.
I know what you mean, man. I'm the same. I probably watch A New Hope probably once a year, I'd say.
Same here. And if it's on for some reason, or if my kids want to watch it, or they are going to try it. My kids are at an age right now, at least, where I think they think that the first, like, kind of half of New Hope is kind of boring because not a lot.
Oh.
I mean, compared to a lot of other movies, not a lot happens at the beginning of New Hope, which is fine. But I guess for kids with the kind of movies and shows that they have available to them in this day and age, they require a lot less of an attention span. I guess they've just had a harder time with it.
Yeah. Oh, here's another super chat you have to read from Dingus Clerk. It's $2.
De har ente de droider du letar efter.
Yep. These are not the droids you're looking for. The West End tabletop RPG game was incredible. Yes, it was. And thank you for recognizing that. Shinjan PV, 4K New Hope is pretty nice. You're talking about the not the official one, but the Technicolor print, right? That someone scanned. Yeah, it does look very nice. Oh, my nose is itchy. Do recent Blu-ray releases of original Star Wars films give you the original cut? No.
No. I have the.
You can get the 4K print.
I have the DVDs that include them, and I guess those were like worth a bunch of money for a little bit there.
I have all of them, but those were terrible transfers. That was like badly transferred the laser discs.
Yep, they were non-anamorphic and everything, but people still wanted them for a while there because that was the only way to.
Oh, I bought them day one when they came out and then remember there was the Harmy despecialized versions, which were really good. And then that was made obsolete by the 4K transfer, 4K 77.
I'm gonna have to find that 4K 77 one.
I have it. I'll send it to you. It's very large.
It's okay. That's cool though. I had no idea that they were doing a 4K version. Did I see something
not officially, yes.
There's a 4K version of Transformers the movie coming pretty soon here too.
Yes. And lordy lord, is that a movie? I love Transformers the movie.
I love it too.
And the soundtrack.
The soundtrack, I had the soundtrack on audio cassette and
Stan Bush, man.
Yep. Amazing song. And
But are you a Dare man or are you the Touch man?
I am a Dare man.
Dare, yes. Dare is the best song.
I always loved it that Daniel had the jet skateboard that he rode on during that scene.
Yeah.
And it's amazing
when it
kicks back in at the very end. And I love it because one of the few toys that I still have that my son kept from like my mom's house. When my mom moved, I brought like a lot of my toys, and I had my kids go through them and find all the ones that they wanted, and then I took the rest of them and like sold them to like a toy place.
Yep.
And my son kept the toy of Cup, and I'm happy that he that he kept Cup, because I feel as though I can relate to Cup more now as
I see
as an older person, I guess.
When I met Stan Bush back in 2010, we sat down and we just talked about his career in general, like Bloodsport and Kickboxer and all this stuff. Stan Bush has awesome music still to this day. Like he's a really good like melodic rock guy. And while we started talking, I was like, I don't want to sit and talk about Transformers because I know like that's all you do, and I'm sure you want to talk more about other things. But I just want to say that Dare is like the greatest song ever made, and you should be like they should make statues of you because of that song. And he's like, oh, actually, it's quite refreshing because I love Dare, and no one ever brings that up. They bring up the Touch.
No, Dare
so
is
he was
way
very happy.
better. Way better.
Dude, that when in the movie, you hear Dare, and then it goes into the Attack on Cybertron. That moment it's just like it brings like a flutter to my heart. Like
Yeah.
it just makes me like super like uh I don't know, like it takes me out of my body basically. It's just amazing. Vince DiCola
Mhm.
also, I had the pleasure of working with him, and what a guy. Just such a fantastic human being. Like the nicest dude.
When I played a
So,
lot of
and Rocky
Halo
4
3,
obviously.
when I played a lot of Halo 3 online, I would made a custom playlist soundtrack,
Yeah.
on my Xbox, and Dare was in that. Just like such a good song to get all hyped up to. But yeah, I
Oh
love that
yeah.
movie. I have watched it probably close to more than any other movie in my life.
Yeah.
When it came out in videotape, um, my friend's older brother had two VCRs and he was able to copy it, and I just
Yeah, yeah.
watched it over and over and over again. It would end and I would start it, like, rewind it and start it again, just for I have no idea how many days straight, except for when I was sleeping, obviously. But I remember specifically because I was homesick, and I would just watch it over and over and over again. Love that movie.
Yeah.
I did see a
Fantastic.
super chat a couple
Oh,
minutes ago from
must have gone up to you.
yeah, from PCDT Info. Thank you. Saying, what's a good external video capture card? I'm not sure if you saw the video that we did with GameSack today, but that has some good external capture card recommendations. But I think that the StarTech external capture card is pretty good. It plays really nicely with the OSSC if you have one of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for that question I have nothing to add because you guys did that amazing video. So like what am I gonna say? Like go watch the video. And follow and subscribe GameSack and My Life in Gaming because two of the best channels on YouTube.
The Shot Factory Blu-ray.
Are we on the last game here?
We are. I was just kind of waiting to boot it.
Catch.
Are we ready to go? Should I try it?
Go ahead.
Here we go.
And it doesn't work. Wouldn't that be funny?
That's doing something. It is maybe not working. It's not looking good.
Oh no.
Hang on.
What was this even? I can't even remember anymore.
Let's find out. It's like definitely not working. Should I try it on the Mister real quick? Just to see.
Try it on the Mister real quick.
Okay.
Just to see. And if you're trying on the Mister, we also have game 6 that didn't work, so.
Oh, right.
Let's try that first quickly. It is very late for me, but whenever Coury and Try ask me if I can help them, I will never say no.
This always happens.
Why are you so chill, Audi? Because I have nothing to stress over. Life is a wonderful thing, and you should enjoy every moment of it. And you should love your friends and family.
Why is it? It keeps on doing this.
What is it doing?
Sometimes this controller, the receiver acts all weird. There we go.
That worried me that the Mister was malfunctioning.
No, it's just for some reason.
I am not Swedish.
Always happens with this thing. So.
Do not confuse me for a Swede, for I am Norwegian. I am Lord of the Fish, a man of the oil. How to murder your bitrate on YouTube. Yeah, it got really bad.
All right, so here we go. Doesn't seem like it's working here. I wonder what.
So will game 6 then be the last game? We can't end on a fail.
I know.
Can I send you a game?
I don't have a game 17. Do I not have a game 17?
Huh? That was an SMD game. Maybe it doesn't read SMD.
Oh, it's okay. I did 17 though, anyways. Yeah, I don't know why I wouldn't read it.
I have no idea. I can send the emergency game 19,
Yeah,
but then you have to put it on the SD card.
that's okay.
All right.
I can do it.
All right.
Do it over.
Emergency game 19.
All right.
Let's see. Quick. Oh,
No pressure.
this is. Let's do. Let's see. King Salmon. No. All right. Let's do this one. I found one. Okay. Then I have to rename it. Game 19. I'll drop it in the Discord chat, I suppose.
All right.
There you go.
All right. Here we go.
We should have like a picture of Gentle Ben on screen as we go for our technical problem. Chris Fratt sends $2. Says, I was gonna say I have a good joke Sonic hack. Oh. We already had the best Sonic hack earlier, so
Here we go. This one's working.
can you guys? Oh yeah, there you go.
Is it Jim Powers? Jim Power, The Lost Dimension in 3D. Yep.
There you go.
I have the Super Nintendo version of this.
This is the unreleased Mega Drive version with the full soundtrack.
Oh, really? The soundtrack is
Yep.
awesome. And
Oh, it's Chris Olsbeck.
yeah.
One of his best. I actually prefer Jim Power over Turrican when it
Oh.
comes to Chris's music.
That background, though, I'll tell you, it just really messes with you.
It's even worse on Super Nintendo, though. Like on
Yes.
Super Nintendo, it makes you like sick.
Yeah, this actually moves a little bit slower than it does. The background moves slower than it does on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah. This is the best version of the game, actually. So, someone was asking, can we do a DF Retro on No More Heroes? Maybe. I know Suda a little bit, so maybe we could rope him in for something. In my book, he did the interview at the end of my book, so I have a lot of love for Suda because he did that for me, and he didn't need to. I didn't even have to pay him. Shahad says, just finished part 2 of the PSX retrospective, Audi. Love it. Thank you so much. We worked very hard on that, and I had a lot of fun doing Street Fighter the movie in that one. I worked very hard on making sure that would be the best review of Street Fighter the movie you've ever seen. And from what I've seen in the comments, people have been very happy about it. So, oh man, Wrestling with Gaming is here with $5.
Oh.
Unless there's a CDI core, the Mister will never achieve full potential. I know, right? What's going on? Like, I keep sending them an email every day about this.
I kind of can't believe this. At least this doesn't have one-hit deaths in it. It seems like you have.
No, it has a power bar,
Which
right?
is something that the other version sorely needs.
It's originally the DOS version that has hits like this. So this is actually the best version of the game, and it's not a great game, but it's fairly decent on Mega Drive. So it's a shame that was the only one that didn't come out until recently. So this
Yeah,
reminds me of an old DOS game. Yeah, sure.
I mean, I have this, but it has the. Mine even has the box with it.
I have a fully complete box too with the 3D glasses.
Oh, this definitely doesn't have 3D glasses. I don't even think this has a manual in it. No, there's no manual in here.
Great
Right.
music though.
Yes, I mean that's the best part about it is the music.
There's also a PC Engine CD version of that, released only in Japan, with the best soundtrack. Because that was Chris doing Redbook audio and just going ham on that thing. Have you heard that?
I haven't, but that sounds like
Oh
something I wanna-
man, you have to hear that. If you love the Jim Power soundtrack,
Mhm.
get the PC Engine version CD and just listen. It works in a CD as a CD audio. Like, it is insane. It is just everything you would want.
But is this series pretty popular, or was it pretty
Jim
popular?
Power?
Yeah.
No.
Is this the
it was
only? I mean, they made
was the
different
only-
versions of this
Yeah,
game.
they-
But was there previous games in this series?
No. It was just this. And I don't know, like it's a combination of many things. It's Contra, it's Ghosts and Goblins.
Yeah.
Um,
I could, yeah that
you know,
makes sense about
it's
both.
Turrican.
Yeah. I think it has unlimited lives in it.
Does it? Yeah, it could be. This is the prototype, so
I'm not gonna complain.
they need to do an MD Plus SUV of the PC Engine soundtrack. Yep, they do. I'm sure they will. Bartman 3010. That sounds like a familiar name. I feel like I've seen you before, sir. $5. A super chat. Since a Sailor Moon game was played, will this be a recurring theme, Audi?
Yeah, I mean, this is the second time we've already done this.
Well, are you talking about the recurring theme of Sailor Moon or of this blind bag? Yeah, I would definitely. I mean, I would like to be on stream with Coury and try anytime. One thing I do want to do next time, though, is definitely play some good movie-based games and talk about our favorite movies some more, because
Yeah.
we never get the chance to talk movies much, and we have been doing our best to make sure we can talk about movies today.
Yeah.
So,
It would be cool to do a blind bag that's just movie games.
oh, I'm totally up for that. For different consoles, even.
Yeah.
So, no, I'm totally into that.
I mean, with something with like the Mister, we could just be able to choose a bunch of stuff and not have to worry about changing.
Oh yeah,
systems
you
and
could do like 3 games per like platform, or yeah. I like doing the blind bag episodes, especially with you guys, because it's like it's a way to force you guys to talk about these weird games I bring up in our chat all the time.
stuff. Yeah.
That no one listens to me. It's like, all right, now you can't escape. But for last time too, Try ended up buying games, and like he was really into it, so I know he really enjoyed doing that. So, and I think a Master System blind bag would surprise you. So we got to do that too.
Yeah.
Do NES movie games? They're usually the best. Yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy. I probably enjoy more movie-based games on the Super Nintendo, all things considered. So, yeah, and I definitely have to do a CDI video with Yahel. People do bring it up on Twitter quite often, and I'm sure we will get to it one day. But first of all, we also need to set up that wrestling match, because both me and Yahel went through. I was a high school Greco-Roman, and then I did some other stuff. So
I just watched his Mario Kart video, which is very good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yahel makes amazing videos. I wasn't familiar with him when people started bringing him up. Someone sent him a link. Sent me a link to him. Sorry, getting late here. And I wasn't familiar, but I was like, his name is very similar to my book. Like, so is that the connection? But then I watched, and I was really impressed by the production quality and just the, his general I shouldn't say performance, but just delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I really enjoyed that. And I was very late to YouTube, so touched upon a little bit earlier in the stream. I was very much out of the industry for a while, so I did not pay attention to YouTube at all. So I'm still very much discovering all these people that make amazing stuff, and I feel bad every time I realize that people have been out there making cool stuff for years.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
I was pretty late into the whole thing too.
Yeah.
And there's only so many hours in the day to consume
Right.
stuff, especially if you're making your own stuff. It's really hard to watch other stuff because that could lead to two things. Either it will inspire you and excite you to like make something, or
Yeah.
or you'll think this is way better than anything I can do. I should just like I don't feel like making anything else today.
Right.
I don't feel like work.
Generally, the stuff I do is so obscure, and that's
Yeah.
not to say I do it because it's obscure, but it's just for some reason I like that stuff. So I tend to find that like I always have something to say about something that hasn't been said.
Mhm.
But one thing I always get really inspired by is just production.
Yeah.
And man, My Life in Gaming, very much on top of that. I'm in awe every time I see you guys put stuff out. And
If only we could do it
the only
faster.
thing I the only thing I do with I edit the directs for DF every week, and I have to substitute production for humor because I just don't have the chops. So I just put jokes in there. So
I think a
but I
lot of
do get
people have been
inspired
really
a lot.
enjoying it though.
Yeah, I'm amazed. I again, I'm not someone that has high regard of myself or anything. So when when Richard hired me, I was like, all right, so I'm gonna do like 5-minute videos, right? To just get used to this. And the day I got hired, the day I signed that contract, he was like, all right, so we're gonna put you in charge of the directs. I was like, what's the directs then? It's like, oh, that's our new weekly talk show that like I pitched it. But I was like, oh, you want me to edit that? You know that's gonna be like 2 hours every week, right? It's like, yep. It's like, you know I don't know how to edit. It's like, well, then you better learn.
Yeah.
And Rich, man, is the best boss I've ever had the privilege of working with because it's not just being thrown into a situation like that. But Rich is someone that can recognize talent, and he can also recognize just kind of like what's it called? When you see something in someone, it's getting
Oh,
late.
yeah. Potential.
Potential, yeah. He sees potential,
Hmm?
and uh, he knows exactly how to motivate you to discover that potential. It's not that he sits there and says, "Do it this way, do it that way." He doesn't do that at all. But what he does is just kind of make you feel good enough to discover it in yourself, and then
Hmm?
let you go crazy with that. Like let you like discover your own talents or whatever. If it's not talent, it's just kind of like drive.
Hmm.
And I'm constantly shocked by just how good he is at kind of bringing the most out of the people he works with because he does it effortlessly, but at the same time I can tell that it's very calculated. So
He's been doing this
we
for a
joke a
long
lot.
time. So
He has, yes, for a long time. I mean, he goes back to the 20s, that man. He was there during the Great Depression, reporting on it. But we joke a lot with each other. But I have a tremendous respect for him, and I learn a lot just being in the group chat with him. It's like
Mhm.
it's incredible how good he is at getting things. So
I
it's a
think
shame he's going to fire me anytime soon.
I think I think a lot of people enjoy the directs because it gives them a different chance to get to know you guys and see you interacting in a different way. And that's
Yeah,
why
that
I
was
think like the humorous stuff comes across in a different way than probably people had viewed the channel
oh,
before.
absolutely, yeah.
And suddenly
It,
the people that are watching those, they're watching it for you guys to see you guys
yeah.
interact, not just for the information, but it's just to see you guys kind of hanging out and being friends.
So when I joined DF, it was my job to design the Patreon and design the directs because we had like, you know, what can we bring to the table and what can you bring to the table, and the Patreon had been in development in a sense. Like we knew we had to
Mm-hmm.
do it because even though we're part of Eurogamer stuff, that doesn't mean anything. That's just a distribution line, but it's not. It doesn't bring anything into us. We still have to provide very much for ourselves.
Right.
So we were very beholden to algorithms and stuff. So when they brought me in, I was like, well, in order to do anything on a subscription basis like this, they have to know who they're subscribing to, who they're supporting, and who's behind all this. You can't just say, well, Alex makes cool videos, right? They have to care about who Alex is as a person and why he makes those videos. So I came up with a direct idea to kind of, because I was in the chat and I was seeing, for example, Rich. Rich has a really dry sense of humor. He's very much like a Blackadder, Monty Python thing, right? And I was like, but that doesn't come through at all in those videos because he's talking about like Ryzen CPUs stuff. There's nothing funny about that. John, you know John as well as I do. He can be hilarious, but at the same time, it's like, when he does a technical analysis of the Ratchet and Clank, it's like there's very little room for humor naturally to come out of that.
It's gotta be all business for stuff like that.
Exactly, and it has to be because they're there to do a job. They're not there to like do knock jokes.
Yeah.
So there was all these. I saw all this character behind the scenes, and I was like, well, people want to see. This is what people want to see. Yeah. And honestly, the work that they do will be enhanced by them knowing that side of them. So when it even is all business, they'll have in the back of their minds that like, oh, Rich is really smart and good at what he does right now, talking about that. But I've also seen Rich like, photoshopped onto Yoda. Like, there's always something in the back of your mind with Rich now, or Crazy Frog. So, yeah, I immediately, that was the first thing I did. The first day I was there was basically like, this is exactly what needs to come out, and we should do a talk show, like a news show, because that was another thing is that DF, production takes a long time. You know better than anyone, because you guys made like amazing documentaries, and they aren't made in one day. Right. So, and when it came to news and stuff, we never had a way of kind of talk about news. When it happened, it's like, well, in order to talk about something, we would have to spend 4 days on the production to talk about something that everyone else had talked about 4 days earlier. So the direct was another way of just kind of like, well, we want to talk about all this stuff, so let's do it in a news format. Like, there's no need to spend 4 days on production to talk about a patch.
Yeah.
Unless that patch is significant and needs analysis, then sure. So, yeah, the directs have been fun. And, I've learned a lot about editing, so...
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you probably have a pretty good workflow with making all that stuff. You learn so much stuff, so many shortcuts.
Oh, yeah.
And
the first time, the first direct took me about 3 days to make. And I remember Rich saying that, like, that's fine. If a 3-day, production timeline for each week is what we have, then that's fine. And now I spent 6 hours on a direct. That's with all the photoshopping, all of the audio thingies, like all that stuff takes me 6 to 7 hours. So I've gotten pretty quick at it. Mostly because I want to drink by Friday. I want to be done with it.
Yeah. I was telling you before that I know I'm gonna wrap it up here in just a second here, but
oh no, you can go as long as you want.
I had mentioned to you earlier that I had the big, like a work crunch and everything, and doing. I hadn't done like that much work. I was working like 17-hour days for 2 weeks straight, and I hadn't really done that extended of a crunch, which I guess to some people who like work in the game industry and stuff like that, that's 2 weeks is not that big of a thing. Right. But we had certain deadlines that we had to meet, and it was grueling. But I'll tell you, after all that, it just really reinvigorated me to getting back to like doing like my own stuff.
Right.
I'm very excited to, like, I set right back to work on the Mister video as soon as we were done with it, because I couldn't do anything else. I was basically,
Oh, you're gonna do a new Mister video?
yeah, I mean, I've been working on it for a while, but it kind of weaves in and out of what I was, like, I should have had it done a long time ago, but so many things get, like, added or changed that I feel sort of happy that it hasn't come out yet, because now I can show CPS2, which just came out on Friday, and WonderSwan is out now too.
Huh.
So like, all that stuff I can show on there. It's just, it should have already been out, and I've been promising and talking about it for a long time.
Right.
But I think it really took me getting to doing this work that where I was working on a different project for so long and so intensely that it made me really appreciate how lucky I am to do my own content, from, like, as a major part of my life, I guess. So
Yeah,
that has something to do with exactly what we were talking about before.
No, but I mean, you're totally right. So, I mean, it's good. I mean, if you sit and do one thing too long anyway, you kind of lose track a little bit of what you have. And when you did that crunch, I'm sure you kind of rediscovered a bit of your love for the channel, right?
Yeah, so, exactly. Where maybe I was feeling burned out on certain aspects.
Yeah.
For, like, no real reason. But when it was, like, the main thing that I was doing, yeah. But when it was just, my main thing for, like, for a long time in between freelance jobs, but now I am doing this other work, which is a full-time position, but like, how busy it is kind of goes up and down. But I'd never had a crunch time that was this busy for this long, where I was literally just going to bed after everybody in the house and getting up before and like sitting in front of the computer editing, like, the entire time.
That's always a weird feeling, isn't it, when it's like you're up before and you go to bed after, like you're always just kind of out of sync with everyone else.
Yeah. And it was crazy. My wife and kids went on vacation. They went down to North Carolina for 10 days, and I had to stay here because I had to work. So they were gone for 10 days. And then as soon as they got back, like, the day that they got back was the day that the really intense crunch started. So I basically didn't get to see them or spend any significant time with them for 3 weeks. And now it's all wrapped up.
Crunch in general, I find to be, I never find it to be especially productive, if you know what I mean. Like, sometimes you just can't avoid it. Mm-hmm. I understand. But I mean, this is something that the gaming industry is going through currently. It's this kind of,
right.
We're dealing with just the long-term effects of crunch, because that was for many years, and I'm certainly no different. I mean, working till like 2 a.m., every day, and like, just, and there's a huge question mark regarding, like, is that, productive or not? Because we as humans don't really operate on 100% by doing it that way.
Right.
So, and yeah, so I hope crunch is something that we can kind of mitigate a bit over time.
Yeah.
Are you looking at CPS2 now?
I was just looking through because Yotega's working on Sega System 16 stuff too now, which is that's awesome. The stuff I'm most excited about.
Yeah. I love the Mr. Project. I used to get very annoyed by it because every time someone brought up like retro games or something, like, what's the best way of playing this or that, just get a Mr. It's like, it was just like pies.
Yeah.
Like retro pie. And I was like, man, stop bringing this up. Like, I don't care. I don't have one. And then, what was his name? Pork Chop Express
Yeah.
on Twitter.
Mhm.
Yeah, he sent me a mystery. He was just like, I like your work, and I just want to give you this.
Mhm.
So he sent it to me. I sat down with it, and I was like, okay, I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Like, I won't tell people to go get a mystery, but this is one of like as a community effort, it's one of the best like come-togethers of a retro gaming history. You know, like just the talent involved here is incredible.
Uh, Henry Clark, I don't think I can change the analog background. There probably is a way to do it, but this is the European version.
Mario E says Yuzuki and Kazunori Yamauchi used to sleep on the office at the office for the first Shenmue and Gran Turismo, which took 5 years to make. Oh man, not just them, but I mean, sleeping under the desk at the office was quite common in Japan, and unfortunately still is. Our office in Japan, I have an office in Okachimachi in Tokyo, and we specifically instructed the people there to work uh, like normal hours and go home when like the workday is over. So we very much tried to avoid that, and I've seen more and more companies actually kind of enforce this, especially if they have a Western wing. Like you want to sync everyone up and have more healthy work standards. So, but yeah, it's not good. You should never sleep at the office. I can tell you that much. I've done it, and it sucks.
Except for when your office is your house.
Yeah, yeah. When you work from home, that's fine.
But
So
it's much harder to make those boundaries too when you're working at home.
that's the problem. Like, and I'm not a person that's good at that because I'm a workaholic. So I'll have 4 or 5 projects at once and just going. And when I'm working from home, like now in the pandemic, there's really no off switch for me. I just when I have to go sleep, you
Yeah.
know, if I'll get up in the morning, it's like I'm just gonna start working at this, and then it flows into all these other things, and
Yeah.
um,
And that's
I'm getting older. I'm noticing it.
I mean after we wrapped up this current phase of the project
Yeah.
on Wednesday, I was like basically past. Oh, I was like, who am I fighting there for a second? I was like, it's Karen.
Oh yeah.
I forgot about that. Uh, but I have barely spent any time on the computer since.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I didn't even turn on my computer, which is something that doesn't happen very often.
But it's a wonderful feeling, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like I love the days when I don't even look at my computer nowadays. Like I just love it. I love taking a walk. I love
yeah,
just sometimes I just sit outside and I look up, and it sounds kind of cheesy, I know, but man, when you sit on a computer as much as we do, sometimes it's just nice to go out, sit on the bench, and look up at the sky,
yeah,
and just like not see electronics, not see um, urban populations or anything. Like
mm-hmm.
just look up at the sky and see nothing, but everything at the same time. It's as best as I can say it in my current state. But I just the infinity of that and the nothingness makes me relax.
yeah.
I've suddenly turned into Werner Herzog.
But when I was in the middle of this, a long time at the beginning, I have like restless legs a lot of time. When I'm
Mm.
closing in on finishing a project, I can really just like feel it in my legs, where I'm just, getting through it. And I had like restless legs through half of it, and then about halfway through, then at that point, I stopped feeling it, and I didn't know if that was a good or a bad thing. That suddenly, I've been doing this for this many days straight, that now my body has just like accepted it.
Yeah, pretty much right. There's a lot of talk here in the chat about crunch, and
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it caused a lot of exodus of the talent game industry in Japan. Yeah, I don't know. Home office, a good space. Can also get shed. Yeah, that's why Japan was so productive in the late '90s to mid 2000s. Yeah, they were great, right? And not so much. Japan. The fallacy of it is, you always hear about how Japan, they're like super hard workers and very dependable, and they work day to night, and you don't leave until the boss leaves, and all these like um, stereotypes
Yeah.
of like that Japanese work spirit. And then you start working in Japan or working with Japan, and you realize that it's the system bureaucracy that is nonsense. It's just so much red tape that doesn't need to exist,
Right.
and they are the least productive people, in the sense that like especially when it comes to like companies in the gaming and stuff. I'm sure there are better examples, but yeah, it's just like they're not productive because they're so used to spending all that time, and then when you try to teach them more effective ways that can save them time and at the same time recuperate better, like you can have a life outside of work. You don't need to go drink with us. You can actually go home and do a hobby, and they just don't know how to react to this. So it's gonna take a long time for the work culture to change, but the work culture that they had was terrible. I mean, it's not productive. I don't know how to explain it even, but it's just they just don't know how to manage time. And if you don't know how to manage time, you're not going to be productive in all that time you spend. You're just going to have all those hours that you're supposed to be doing something. So they fill it up with like nonsense, because like, well, you have to be at the office from 8 in the morning till 10 at night. And it's like, what are you going to do for all those hours? Work. It's like, but if you were more effective in a healthy way, you could go home at 5 and you would have had just as much done that day that was needed to be done, and still come fresh in the morning and be just as productive next day. So
I think I'll close it out with a little X-Men versus Street Fighter.
all right.
I don't know.
BBA935 says he works in Japan. Yeah, all right. So you probably know what I'm talking about, or disagree. And I'd love to hear what you think. Drinking is kind of normalized in Japan. You mean it is necessary? You don't sign contracts in blood in Japan. You sign them in alcohol. And I have never done a licensing deal in Japan without forgetting where I am the next day, like just waking up in a place I didn't know how I got there. So not to get gross here, but my office manager in Japan had this he had this strategy, because he's a very effective man, and he used to go to all these different meetings throughout the day. We go to up to 5 meetings per day to like handle businesses licenses, and we were perplexed by how he could take so much alcohol. And he told us that like, oh, well, he usually just after he was done with the meeting, he'd go behind the store and get rid of the consumed alcohol in a certain way. So it'd come back up again. So, and then he would be fine and go to the next meeting, and he would keep doing that like a bulimic. And I was just like, is he? He's like, it works. He's like, you probably shouldn't do that. Maybe just say next time that you don't drink. It's like, then we don't get the contract. Like, oh. And when I was handling the Clanad is a very famous franchise in Japan. And when I was licensing Clanad for my company with my boss, I knew that the president of Visual Arts liked whiskey. So I brought Canadian maple whiskey to him, and he was very happy about this. So he was like, oh, I really appreciate this, but I will not drink this alone. I will drink this with you. And I was like, oh, no. And we started drinking, and then that bottle of whiskey was gone. He's like, oh, don't worry, my little friend. I have more.
Oh,
and he had like this huge cabinet of whiskey from around the world. It's like,
oh,
pick
jeez.
one. And it's like, well, whichever kills me fast. And he started laughing. He's like, all right, we shall murder you quickly. But I did get the Clannad license, thanks to that. So it did not work out well for Valis. I have a long story with the Valis, the Phantasm Soldier, and that will be for another day.
Yeah.
But that did not work out. But that is coming out now from other
Yeah.
companies, and I'm very happy.
That's kind of crazy, but it's
Yeah.
good. It's good.
Yeah, 10 years ago now, I was trying my hardest to, because there had been in Japan, there had been a compilation called Valis Complete, and I was trying my best. I knew I wanted it, and it took me in certain directions that was unexpected, and it got to a point where my boss was basically like, abort this. We stop here. So Retro Morgan says he's been playing through Valis games on PC Engine. Yeah, that's the best versions. I like the Genesis versions too, though.
I think that the first one is getting a PC Engine re-release, like a physical disc.
Yes, that is correct. I love that, by the way, the fact that they can do that now.
Yeah. That's just pretty exciting. I will definitely get that. Well,
I've taken over the lead supervisor role at my organization. My current job, the old lead was definitely the kind of heavy mingling drinker type. It's the worst. We can't do any of that anymore. No.
I can barely drink at all anymore. I am gonna get like I just get knocked out now because
I
drink
just
so
get
little.
sleepy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not like it's not fun anymore. Like I enjoy whiskey on the rocks just to relax, like every third month.
Yeah.
You know, if even that anymore. But I never drink more than like 2 drinks anymore. Like it's just I fall asleep after that anymore.
Yep. All right. Well, it's just about midnight here. That's a
All right.
nice little 4-hour stream. Thanks for hanging in there for so long. I don't even. What time is it even there?
Absolutely. Doesn't matter. The time is now no longer a concept here. We have moved into another dimension where video games and talking is all that matters.
Yeah. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. We'll definitely do it again. We'll have to come up with, a list of movie games, and we'll just go for it.
Definitely. That will have to be the next one, I think.
Yeah.
Just so we can talk more movies, because we need a platform for our movie talk.
Yeah, it's fun to just talk about that stuff because I don't know, like we just have a lot of different things that I guess that you know about that Try doesn't know about or stuff like that.
Right. It's the same for me with John Lemon. It's like John loves movies, but he's not like into movies the same way as I am.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I don't know. It's easier for you and I to bring up just a genre, and having like a connection to at least a genre. Where it's like if I can probably talk to you about Italian horror movies, and you'd be like, I have an Italian horror
I mean,
movie,
some, but not like a lot. But
so Terminal Philosophy is asking if I have a channel. So I'm part of the Digital Foundry, so you can subscribe to Digital Foundry, and you can find me on Twitter at PC98_Audi. But I don't have my own YouTube channel. I don't need that.
That's right. Everybody should check him out. I'm sure that most people here have seen you.
By now, I guess so.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah,
coming up on 2 years since the first stream I did with you. I actually 2 years ago.
I did Bubsy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was right after the Bubsy episode. So I was at Try's place for that. So if you go into the archives, you can see a deer in headlights if you want to.
You played through Bubsy and Cybernator in that stream.
Yes, I did.
Back to back.
Back to back.
And you finished Cybernator, something I was not able to do on stream.
One of my
weeks ago.
favorite games.
Yeah.
We have been talking about doing some Cybernator stuff together, so maybe
Yeah. Just like
one day.
like an assault suit
Yeah.
video. And like the spin-offs and
Yeah.
stuff, or like the
It has to happen.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you to everybody who donated tonight, and I hope everybody everybody who has a day off tomorrow. I hope you enjoy it. And,
I certainly do.
Anyways, we'll see you again next week. Good night, everybody.
Good night.